Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Quanmin. Necromancer is weak. I have unlimited skills. Chapter 1. Yan Country. Linshan City. Central Square. At this moment, each of the slightly immature faces is showing anticipation and apprehension. Since the game came to reality 100 years ago, humans on Blue Star can change jobs and obtain data panels when they reach the age of 18. And today is the annual job change day. Everyone who has reached the age will rush to the square where the professional godstone is located to change jobs on this day. I don't know what my occupation will be later. I hope to have an output occupation. It would be great if I were an elemental mage. Hey, don't daydream, okay. Mage, that's the mage. It would be great if there are 3 or 5 elemental mages out of the thousands of people who change jobs today. Your usual grades and potential are so poor, why are you still thinking about this? It's fine if I can turn into a fighter. And my potential is up to the mark. Bro, what's your potential assessment? It's C. My sow. Boss. Our school's average potential evaluation barely reached E. The sound of the conversation attracted envy and gazes from all around, making that person show a hint of complacency. Potential assessment is something that everyone will do before the age of 18. The higher the potential, the greater the possibility of being able to change to a powerful profession. The potential evaluation of C level is already very high, and there is a great possibility that he can be transferred to a combat profession. At this time, on the high platform next to the professional godstone, the principal of Linshan Middle School said loudly, "Everyone be quiet, the job transfer is now officially started." Under the guidance of the class teacher, the crowd began to change jobs one by one. They walked to the professional godstone one by one, and put their hands on the godstone. Bursts of different degrees of light emerged. Zhong Lan, awaken the chef profession. Liang Fei, awaken the miner profession. Ma Yun, awaken the goldsmith profession. Lu Yu, awaken the blacksmith profession. Behind the high platform, a majestic man frowned and looked at the test situation below. The quality of students this year seems to be a bit bad. 30 or 40 people have been tested, and most of them are living occupations, and some even have no occupations. In previous years, there would be more or less 1 or 2 combat classes. Accompanied by the leadership of Linshan Middle School, Principal Lu Binian said, "Don't worry, Mo, there must be good seedlings, and they are all behind." Mo Dao nodded, and looked at a few people standing not far away. Even in the crowd, those few people are so different. They are all good seedlings. That's right, especially student Lu Nan, in terms of potential evaluation, even reached the S level, the same rating as student Ji Yu Nianzu. This time with better luck, maybe 2 hidden jobs will appear. Many school leaders looked over one after another, their eyes full of anticipation. S level evaluation, in the entire Yan Kingdom, is considered a genius, and there is a 90% probability of being able to transfer to a hidden profession. This is also the reason why Mo Dao, as the Lord of Linshan City, appeared here at this time. In the past, at most it was just sending the subordinates to host. One by one, the young people walked away dejectedly. Hundreds of people passed by, but none of them had a decent fighting profession. Lu Nan. Ah, it's Senior Lu Nan, so handsome. Senior Lu Nan. I saw a tall and slender figure walking out from the top student, with a faint smile on his face, sword eyebrows and star eyes, extremely handsome. There was a burst of screams in the square. Student Lu Nan, please put your hands on the sacred stone. The plump female teacher said gently, making the hearts of the students who had just finished the test soar. Isn't it just a little more handsome? What a big deal. Okay, teacher. Lu Nan felt a little nervous. This is the most important thing in life. Although he has an S-level potential evaluation, it is hard to say that he will not overturn. Put your hand on the sacred stone, and the next moment, a group of dazzling gray light emerged from the sacred stone. Lu Nan, awakened profession, Necromancer. The scene was quiet for a moment, and then there was an uproar. It's actually a necromancer. It seems a bit miserable. What are you laughing at? No matter what, it's still a fighting profession. No, but he has an S-level evaluation. I go. How could it be this profession? Not to mention hidden professions, a normal elemental mage is also fine. The expectant eyes around him became a little mocking. No matter how high you usually climb, you will fall as much now. Necromancer's evaluation is basically at the bottom of many combat professions, and professional skills are really bad. Take summoning skeleton warriors as an example. An elemental mage's fireball technique can kill a skeleton warrior. Compared with Lu Nan's potential assessment of as high as S, this profession can be said to be not cost-effective at all. Ah, yes, no matter what you say, you are a battle mage. If you train well, you may not be able to get up. The beautiful female teacher comforted. I'm fine, teacher. Lu Nan took a deep breath. As long as it's a combat job, it's fine. However, just when the data panel appeared in front of his eyes, there was a ding. It is detected that the host has obtained the combat professional necromancer, and the infinite skill superposition system is activated. The host can learn exclusive skills without limit, and get skill bonus effects. Quote. System. There was a thrill in Lu Nan's heart. When he saw the above introduction clearly, he felt relieved. The system allows him to continuously learn exclusive skills, so as to obtain skill superposition effects. For example, he now has exclusive skills. Skeleton summoning. After casting, it can summon a weak skeleton warrior of 1 unit. After stacking, it can become 2 units. If I have learned thousands or even tens of thousands of skeleton summoning skill books, then Lu Nan could already imagine the scene where thousands of skeleton warriors rushed towards each monster, submerging each other in the sea of skeletons. This is just a low-level skill. What if it is a high-level skill? And what about the legendary Forbidden Curse Undead Natural Disaster? Ordinary undead natural disasters can summon countless undead creatures. What kind of terrifying picture will the superimposed undead natural disasters be? Destroyer. Hiss. Lu Nan's heart suddenly became excited, and he didn't even care about the strange eyes around him. Walking towards the crowd, the screams still exist, but unfortunately, they are not as loud as before. This shows that his appearance is still durable. Cut. What are you pulling? Necromancers are just the weakest battle mages. I'm blind to that S-level evaluation. If I have this evaluation, at least I can awaken an elemental mage, right? There were whispers all around. Lu Nan ignored the gossip of those people, walked directly through the crowd, and left the central square. Hey, Lu Nan seems to be leaving, I'll call him back. A female teacher on the high platform saw Lu Nan leaving and said quickly. No need. This kid must have been hit, let him go and be quiet. Lu Binian sighed. He looked at Mo Dao who was beside him, who also looked disappointed. For him, there were only 2 people he valued in this year's transfer ceremony. One is Lu Nan and the other is Ginu Nianzhu. Unfortunately, Lu Nan just awakened a very ordinary necromancer. However, as a rank 3 powerhouse, Mo Dao had never seen such a big storm. Although he was a little disappointed, it was not incomprehensible. There may still be errors in this potential assessment. Yes, I hope Ginu Nianzhu's luck will not be so bad. As soon as the words were finished, a beautiful figure walked over to the place where the top student was, attracting a lot of attention from all around. She is the school belle Ginu Nianzhu. If Lu Nan is the male god in the eyes of girls, then Ginu Nianzhu is the goddess in the eyes of boys. Put your hands on the sacred stone, said the female teacher. Ginu Nianzhu nodded lightly, and put her hand on it. The next moment, a burst of dazzling blue light appeared in front of everyone. In the sky and the earth, snowflakes fell one after another. Ginu Nianzhu's cold face was surrounded by a mysterious aura, and her slender body was lifted up a few meters above the ground. The shadow of the snow elf made her look like a goddess. This is. The principal and Mo Dao on the high platform stood up one after another, with a trace of surprise in their eyes. The female teacher in charge of the test was also shocked. Ginu Nianzhu, awakening hidden profession, ice mage. Very nice. Lu Nan hadn't gone far when he noticed the movement behind him and looked back. If it was before, he would definitely be extremely envious, but now. That's it. This proud girl, if you know that I am stronger than her in the future, what will your expression be? Lu Nan smiled crookedly. I really look forward to it. Now, let's go and see how the golden finger works. Lu Nan's home is in an old and dilapidated residential area in Linshan City, and the people living here are the lowest level people, whether it was before or after the game came to reality. Take out a savings card from the corner and open the data interface. The data interface is very powerful, and many things that were used before can be replaced by the data panel. If it weren't for the fact that there are still many people in the world who have not been able to change jobs and cannot summon the data panel, there is no need for things like savings cards to exist. After calling up the panel, entering the card number, and clicking bind, there is no need for this savings card that has accompanied him for more than 10 years. Because the amount in it has been transferred to the data panel, and it is very convenient to transfer it to others as long as you think about it. Panel data. Name: Lu Nan. Title: Necromancer Apprentice. Level: LV1. HP: 100. Mana: 50. Constitution: 9. Strength: 9. Dexterity: 8. Stamina: 7. Combat rating: 1 star. Skill: Summon Skeleton. Level 1. Consume 10 points of mana. Summon 1 unit of 0-level Skeleton Warrior. Cooldown time is 1 minute. Possess money: 81,000 Alliance coins. As expected of a tractor among mages, this fighting power is really touching. You should know that for ordinary elemental mages, the combat power score of level 1 is around 2 or 3 stars, and some hidden professions can even reach 5 stars or more. The more powerful the profession, the stronger the basic attribute will be, and the stronger will always be stronger. The attribute points obtained for each upgrade will be much more advanced than other professions. The mana consumption is nothing, quite satisfactory, but the following information is a bit tricky. Lu Nan casts a summoning spell. The next moment, a small summoning circle appeared on the ground, and a skeleton tremblingly appeared in front of him, holding a bone knife, with a slender figure, as if it was about to fall in the wind. Looking at the attributes again, Lu Nan suddenly felt a little autistic. Skeleton Warrior. HP: 100. Mana: Na. Constitution: 10. Strength: 10. Dexterity: 10. Stamina: 10. Combat rating: 1 star. He is stronger than the current him, but this skeleton can't withstand the blow of other professions at all. Thinking of this, he hurriedly put away his spells and went to the trading area in the south of the city. Each city is divided into many commercial districts, and there are many shops in them, such as blacksmith shop, forging shop, material shop, trading house, potion shop, etc. Although Linshan City is small, it has all internal organs. Soon, Lu Nan found a trading house. Boss, do you have the skills of a necromancer? Looking at Lu Nan's immature face, the obese boss knew that he had just changed jobs and probably had a small family background, so he casually threw out a booklet. See for yourself. There are many skills in the booklet, but most of them are basic skills, such as the warrior's dash, the swordsman's strength increase, the elemental mage's fireball, wind blade, and so on. Lu Nan ignored the other party's contempt, and turned to the last page, and sure enough, he saw the necromancer's skill book at the bottom. Basic skills: skeleton summoning, priced at 1,000 Alliance coins. As expected of a low-end mage, even the skill books are cheaper than others. Looking at the basic skill prices of elemental mages, the cheapest one costs 10,000 Alliance coins. Sure enough, the more high-end professions, the more people were slaughtered. Lu Nan also saw other spells of the undead system. Swamp of the Undead. Consume a certain amount of mana to summon a Swamp of the Undead. The price is 2,000 Alliance coins. Knight's Funeral. Consume a certain amount of mana to summon a skeleton knight. Note: 1 turn advanced skills. The price is 10,000 Alliance coins. I want as many skeleton summoning skill books as there are. What? The fat boss was shocked. I almost thought I heard wrong. You sure? Nonsense. But, I want so much, give me a discount. Okay, then 800 copies. But I agreed, at least you have to buy more than 100 copies to get this discount. The fat boss was skeptical, suspecting that Lu Nan didn't have that much money. Linshan City is only that big, and he knows a little about the rich. After thinking about it for a while, I didn't find anyone from such a low-key family. It wasn't until Lu Nan traded the 80,000 Alliance coins that the fat boss was overjoyed. Where did the little brother hang out? Obviously, the fat boss regarded Lu Nan as a second-hand dealer. Although it is difficult for many second-hand dealers to mix because of the existence of trading houses, it does not mean that they cannot make money. Take the previous boss siege, which caused a shortage of supplies in the city, and many supplies have increased in price. It's nothing. Lu Nan said vaguely and left the trading house. Soon, I returned home. Let's see how it works now. He took out a skill book with great anticipation, and secretly said, learn. Immediately, a stream of light fell into the skill bar of the panel. You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and the skill level has increased. Lu Nan saw that the skeleton summoning had changed from level 1 to level 2. Skeleton summoning, level 2, consume 8 mana to summon 2 weak skull warriors. 9 minutes cooling time. Single quote. He was not in the slightest surprise. The exclusive skills of each profession can be upgraded to level 3. Necromancers are no exception. After level 3, it is time to witness the cheat effect. You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and the skill level has increased. In a blink of an eye, the skeleton summoning was upgraded to the current limit level 3, and the effect of the skeleton summoning became: Skeleton summoning, level 3, consume 6 mana to summon 3 weak skeleton warriors. 8 minutes cooling time. Single quote. The current skill limit, summoning 3 weak skeleton warriors at once, looks a little stronger, but the 8-minute cooldown time still makes this skill very tasteless. By this time, Lu Nan was also a little nervous. Take out the new skill book and shoot up. A stream of light disappeared into the skill bar. You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, but the skill has been upgraded to the current limit, and the skill level remains unchanged. Before he could be disappointed, a crisp voice sounded the next moment. Ding! You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and your skills have been improved. Ha ha! Lu Nan couldn't help laughing loudly, which attracted the sideways glances of some passers-by outside. Boy Lu, are you alright? It's over. I heard that today is the day for a job change. This kid from the Lu family came back so early. Could it be that the job transfer failed? Is this crazy? Hiss, there is really a possibility. Didn't you say that the Lu family boy has a high evaluation of his potential? How could this happen? Hurry up, knock on the door. That kid is not autistic, he wants to commit suicide. Neighbors in the neighborhood were talking more and more loudly. Lu Nan dared not ignore it, and ran out in a hurry. Sure enough, he saw some old men rushing towards him with a big wooden stake in their arms. Just as Lu Nan opened the door, the stake almost hit his face. After all, after persuading the enthusiastic neighbors away, Lu Nan returned to the house and continued to upgrade his skills. Ding! You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and your skills have been improved. Ding! You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and your skills have been improved. A full half an hour passed, and all the skill books I bought were used up. Open the panel. Name: Lu Nan. Title: Necromancer Apprentice. Level: LV1. HP: 100. Mana: 50. Constitution: 9. Strength: 9. Dexterity: 8. Stamina: 7. Combat rating: 100 stars. Skill: Summon Skeleton, level 100, consume weak mana, summon 100 units of 0-level skeleton warriors, no cooling time. Possess money. Union currency 1000. Powerful. No other attributes have changed, but the combat power rating has changed from 1 star to 100 stars. According to Lu Nan's knowledge, many first-time professionals have not reached this star level. Generally speaking, the combat power of a first-rank professional is around 100 stars, but that is normal. In fact, many professionals have to accumulate for a long time after being promoted to a first rank to reach this star. It should be no problem to get through the novice dungeon. Lu Nan secretly thought. Dee. There was a beeping sound from the bottom of the data panel. Lu Nan opened the chat channel. Sell a copy of the Elemental Mage Rank 2 cheat book Thunderstorm, you need privacy. The Lin Shui base is going to the 3rd secret realm, a mage and a priest are needed, and the combat power requirement is 350 stars. After awakening the profession, you can open the profession chat channel. Lu Nan took the initiative to skim through these messages, and clicked on the private chat message bar. Xiao Nan, what profession did you awaken? Looking at the message sent by the other party, a charming figure flashed in Lu Nan's mind involuntarily, and his heart couldn't help but feel hot. Beast. That's sister-in-law. What a good career without awakening. It's okay, sister-in-law is supporting you. Ding. Professional Chen Xiaoke added you as a friend. Agree. Ding. Your friend Chen Xiaoke will transfer you 80,000 alliance coins. Quote question mark question mark question mark. Sister-in-law, are you rich? Yeah, good luck recently. Xiao Nan, you have developed well. If you have no money, sister-in-law has it here. Take these things to buy some equipment. Don't die in the secret realm. Rest assured. After closing the chat channel, Lu Nan looked at the extra 80,000 alliance coins in the account, but did not choose to refuse. His honorary big brother has been dead for several years, and Chen Xiaoke always transfers his living expenses to him. This time, he should also know that he has changed jobs, so he specially transferred a large amount of money to let him buy some props. It won't be long before I can return it to you. Lu Nan murmured. Ding. Professional Ginu Nianzu added you as a friend. Do you agree? What is this guy doing with me? When he just crossed over, he thought he was the protagonist, and had an unclear relationship with Ginu Nianzu, the school girl, so he was quite happy at that time. Who knows, Ginu Nianzu treats him no differently from others. Of course, Lu Nan will not run to get close to each other like licking a dog. Between the two, it was really clean. Sorry. Question mark question mark question mark. Is this what you want to say when you add me as a friend? Lu Nan simply deleted Ginu Nianzu's friends. And, set adding friends as unavailable. This is cool. With 80,000 yuan on hand, of course Lu Nan didn't keep it, and went to Chang'an Trading House again. Give me another 100 summoning skeleton skill books. Hiss. Brother, do you have any exclusive news? The fat boss exclaimed. Lu Nan came twice, but emptied out all the skeleton summoning skill books in his shop. The profession of necromancer itself is relatively rare, so not many people buy it. It's okay to put them in those big bases. In a small base like Linshan City, the number of necromancers can be counted on one hand. Nothing. Soon, Lu Nan returned with 100 skeleton summoning skill books. Ding. You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and your skills have been improved. Ding. You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and your skills have been improved. In front of a tall floor-to-ceiling glass window, on a large and soft bed, a graceful figure in loose pajamas is looking at the data interface, with a faint smile on his face. And at the moment she is actually chatting. If someone saw this scene, they would be extremely surprised. Ginu Nianzu, an iceberg beauty from Linshan Middle School, would actually show such a smile while chatting with a stranger. She thought for a long time, and finally, sent a somewhat vague word. Sorry. However, she waited for a long time, but could not wait for a reply. So, I couldn't help but send a sentence in the past. Sorry, you are not the friend of the other party, so you cannot send private messages. Boom. Ginu Nianzu just felt like a thunderbolt fell in her mind. He deleted me. Before he knew it, a layer of white mist appeared in front of his eyes. Wronged. Lu Nan didn't know that he had inadvertently caused Ginu Nianzu to suffer a blow. Looking at the terrifying skills on the panel, his heart was full of amazement and anticipation. Skill. Summon skeleton, level 200, consume weak mana, summon 200 units of 0-level skeleton warriors, no cooling time. Although the mana cost appears to be unchanged literally, it must have been greatly reduced according to the previous rules. Try it now and see how it works. Lu Nan went straight out the door and arrived at the dungeon area. There are quite a few novice dungeons in Linshan City, which can be regarded as a benefit for novice job changers like them. Hello, I want to enter the novice dungeon, he said to an old man in charge of guarding at the entrance of the dungeon. So early, wouldn't it be that you changed your career? Seeing Lu Nan's immature face, the old man spoke. At this point in time, the job transfer over there is still going on. According to the usual practice, top students will be placed in a relatively low position. Even if they are in the front, there will be other delays. For example, the all-important enrollment. After the game came to reality, many trade unions rose up, because the various benefits of trade unions can bring attribute increases to members. Although one can only formally join the trade union and enjoy trade union benefits at the first turn, many potential seeds will be robbed by major trade union forces from the very beginning. Therefore, the old man thinks that Lu Nan in front of him is actually a very ordinary occupation. So, he warned, boy, why don't you wait a little longer? Although the monsters in the novice dungeon are average in strength, they can be regarded as welfare monsters, but if they are too weak, they will easily overturn. It's better to wait for someone to come over and form a team to go in, that way you will be more confident. No, thank you, Lu Nan directly refused. If the 100-star battle power still can't break through the novice dungeon, then he simply buys a piece of tofu and hits the ball to death. Lu Nan refused, and the old man didn't insist either. Tens of thousands of people change jobs every year, and there are always some newcomers who think they are the son of destiny. Good luck then. As a novice, everyone has a chance to enter the novice copy for free. After all, novice dungeons also need daily maintenance, which consumes a lot of money. If one could enter at will, then the official economy of Linshan City would have collapsed long ago. We only have 5 novice dungeons in Linshan City, which one do you want to choose? Skeleton Secret Realm. Lu Nan had a plan in mind. There are 5 dungeons, namely Goblin Secret Realm, Goblin Secret Realm, Beehive Secret Realm, Flame Secret Realm, and Skeleton Secret Realm. In general, the Skeleton Secret Realm is the most suitable for him as a necromancer. Enter along the entrance, and after a while, you will come to a passage. The entrance to the secret realm is a blue vortex. These knowledge points have already been learned in school. Without blinking his eyes, he stepped into the whirlpool. Hey, another ignorant guy. I hope he can come out alive. The novice dungeon is the one with the lowest death rate. As long as you are a little cautious, you can come out alive. Of course, no matter how low the death rate is, there is still a probability. The old man shook his head, and said to himself, this year's generation of job changers is really getting weaker and weaker. I heard that there is an SSS level potential seed in the Eagle Sauce country. I don't know what hidden professions can be transferred to. As the most powerful country at the moment, Yingzhong country spared no effort to suppress Yan country. However, many elites appeared in Yingzhong country, and their own country. Thinking of Lu Nan's performance just now, the old man was extremely heartbroken. There is no harm without comparison. A newcomer, without any prudence, this kind of attitude, that is the appearance of premature death. Brush. Lu Nan opened his eyes and saw a deep and dark land. Reminder. You have entered the skeleton's secret realm. You are affected by the environment, and your vision is reduced. You are affected by the environment, and your physical strength is reduced. Several negative states appear. In Rift dungeons, this is the norm. As a novice dungeon, this reduction is not obvious. It would be scary if it reached the secret realm after one turn. Kaka. As Lu Nan took steps forward, a strange sound appeared. On the ground not far away, the randomly scattered bones were instantly activated. One by one, the skeletons stood up unsteadily, holding the standard bone blade of the skeleton warrior in their hands. Weak skeleton warrior. HP, 100. Mana, Na. Constitution, 10. Strength, 10. Dexterity, 10. Stamina, 10. Combat rating, 1 star. It really is weak enough. Lu Nan cursed inwardly. On these skeletons, he saw his own shadow. If it wasn't for his golden finger, he would have summoned at most 3 weak skeletons at once, and then lured monsters little by little. By the way, also take drugs. The medicine that returns blue, the medicine that returns blood. Otherwise, God knows if he would be killed by those skeletons with the title of Ordinary Skeleton Warrior on their heads. This is the early stage of ordinary necromancers, how miserable it is. But, that's someone else. Come out, my army of skeleton warriors. Seeing 2 weak skeleton warriors running over, Lu Nan unhurriedly cast the skeleton summoning technique. A huge magic circle appeared on the ground. If the magic circle that has not been upgraded is only the size of a washbasin, then the current magic circle is as big as a pond. The diameter exceeds 50 meters. Caw caw caw. Intensive weird noises are constantly coming from the ground. Pale figures staggered out one by one. 1, 2, 3. Soon, Lu Nan's field of vision was filled with skeletons. In the darkness, it was as if a green soul fire had been ignited, which extended Lu Nan's vision a bit, and restored his previous vision in an instant. Not only that, but also a little further. It's not that the debuff state disappeared, but because of the existence of a large number of summoned objects, the vision was opened. -5. -5. The 2 weak skeleton warriors rushing forward shivered as if they had fallen into a sea of people. The guardian of the summoned object was eager, and in an instant, at least a dozen weak skeleton warriors slashed at the enemy. A series of injuries jumped out. It also takes a lot of hands and feet to find a necromancer to kill a weak skeleton warrior. But for Lu Nan, in less than a second, it turned into a ball of white light and turned into abandoned skeleton fragments. You killed a weak skeleton warrior, experience plus 100. You killed a weak skeleton warrior, experience plus 100. You killed a weak skeleton warrior, experience plus 100. Lu Nan didn't even look at it, and gave the 200 weak skeleton warriors an order to kill everything, and then continued to cast the summoning spell. Ordinary necromancers need to wait 7 or 8 minutes to continue the actual combat spells. Here, there is no obvious cooling time. He looked at his own state. The mana cost has been reduced by 1 point forcibly, and the skill cooldown has been refreshed after casting the spell. Come out, my undead army. Without the slightest hesitation, Lu Nan released the skeleton call again and again. 200, 400, 600. In an instant, a full 10,000 weak skeleton warriors appeared. Densely packed, like locusts. If it weren't for Lu Nan, they were their masters. In this skeleton secret realm, they would never be able to see the end at a glance. Cool, Lu Nan laughed and waved his hand. Skeleton warriors rushed forward in a mighty manner. -5. -5. A lot of damage keeps popping up. Occasionally mixed with some crit damage. At the same time, Lu Nan's level is constantly improving. A huge army of skeletons surrounded Lu Nan and walked along the potholed land. Wherever it passes, the chickens and dogs are restless, and life is extinct. You killed a weak skeleton warrior, experience plus 100. You killed a weak skeleton warrior, experience plus 100. Your level has increased. In less than half a minute, the end of the darkness was reached. More than a dozen weak skeleton warriors were wandering around, and behind him stood a very extraordinary-looking skeleton warrior. His bones were thicker than the weak warriors, at least 1 meter 7. Ordinary skeleton warrior. HP, 1000. Mana, Na. Constitution, 50. Strength, 50. Agility, 50. Stamina, 50. Combat rating, 10 stars. Darkness will come. Seemingly aware of Lu Nan's arrival, this skeleton warrior who looked a little unfriendly waved the bone sword in his hand. But before it finished speaking, it was overwhelmed by the dark cloud-like skeleton warrior. -2. -3. Dense damage jumped out. As expected of a 10-star ordinary skeleton warrior, with 1000 points of blood, it resisted a wave, grabbed the bone sword and slashed forward. -20. It only takes 2 more hits to kill a weak skeleton warrior. But the other skeleton fighters didn't give it a chance. In just a few seconds, a large number of weak skeleton warriors swarmed up, like a stack of arhats, stacked on top of each other, and in a blink of an eye, it became a small bone mountain of 3 to 4 meters. Boom! A white light flashed. You got the bone sword weapon. Bone sword weapon. Quality: normal. Physique +2, dexterity +3. Durability: 20/20. Note: it comes from the sharp sword in the hands of skeleton warriors, and the sharpness effect is average. The actual burst rate is really low. He killed so many skeletons, just popped this thing. Of course, it is also related to the level of the secret realm. Many novice dungeons are low-level cheats, and the resources in them have been mined to a great extent after numerous attacks. Most of the new professionals come here for the considerable experience. Moreover, there is a time limit for the novice secret realm. If you feel that you can't beat it, you can wait for the time to expire, and then be sent out automatically. If it is those ordinary secret realms, or in the wild, it will be difficult to get rid of. Lu Nan looked at the time. There were still more than 2 hours. There must be enough time. Once the ordinary skeletons in the dark environment died, the skeleton army continued to move forward. There are 3 areas in the novice dungeon. They are the dark area, the flame area, and the ice area. After trying to lead the skeleton army to kill the small elite monsters in the dark area, Lu Nan walked towards the flame area with 10,000 weak skeletons. Weak flame skull. HP, 150. Mana, Na. Constitution, 15. Strength, 15. Dexterity, 15. Stamina, 15. Combat rating, 2 stars. Note: this is a skeletal warrior infected by the fire element, bathed in flames, regaining the glory of fire. Compared with ordinary skeletons, flame skeleton warriors are stronger, however, they are quickly submerged under the mighty sea of skeletons. This time, Lu Nan did not lead the skeleton army forward as he did last time. At this time, he also had some experience, and found that the skeleton army he summoned could completely cover the remaining 2 areas of the skeleton secret realm. So, with a wave of his hand, the mighty skeleton army flocked to the flame area and the ice area. You kill the weak flame skeleton and gain 150 experience points. You kill the weak flame skeleton and gain 150 experience points. You kill ordinary flame skeletons and get 1500 experience points. You got the flaming bone sword weapon. You kill ordinary ice skeletons and gain 200 experience points. A series of upgrade lights flashed on Lu Nan. The news that the elite monsters in the 3 areas were killed was also drowned in the news of the deaths of other ordinary monsters. Lu Nan checked the time, and less than 3 minutes had passed. And this time is still time to rush. It's really cool. Look at the harvest. Now he only has 1000 union coins with him, which is just enough to buy another copy of Skull Summoning. Although he can summon 10,000 weak skeleton warriors right now, who would dislike having too many summons? A few hundred more copies, I dare to touch the 2nd rank monster. Lu Nan looked at the space backpack. Everyone's backpack has a certain amount of space. For a new professional like him, the backpack is only 5 squares, which is definitely enough for an ordinary professional. But he has to kill an unknown number of monsters in one wave, which is definitely not enough. After changing the money, I need to buy a few space bags. A total of 3 pieces of equipment were harvested in the dungeon. They are all dropped by ordinary skeleton warriors. Except for the white bone sword, the other 2 are flaming bone sword weapon. Quality: normal, physique +3, dexterity +2, fire elemental resistance +1. Durability: 30/30ths. Armor of ice clothes. Quality: ordinary, physique +5, dexterity +1, fire elemental resistance +1. Durability: 30/30ths. The 3 pieces of equipment are all white, and in normal times, the price ranges from a few thousand to 10,000 alliance coins. However, now is the annual job change period, and the price will be a little higher. It's worth at least 20 skeleton summoning skill books. Lu Nan felt relieved. However, at this moment, he also discovered a somewhat unexpected drop. Badge of the Brave. Black Iron. Note 1. This is a test of genius. Take it, walk to the last throne of the skeleton secret realm, put it on the armrest card slot, and you can lead to the mysterious secret realm. Note 2. Please activate the secret realm of the abyss carefully. Sometimes, there is only a thin line between greed and aggressiveness. Note 3. It is recommended to form a team. Note 4. Existence time: 59 minutes and 10 seconds. It's actually a black iron grade item. Lu Nan was shocked. The grade of the item, from common to iron, silver, gold, Baijin, diamond, master, king, epic, legend. From a certain level, black iron items are equivalent to 1-level items, and it stands to reason that only 1-level combat power can be completed. The later time showed that the Badge of the Brave can only exist for a short time, and if I want to go back and prepare, I am afraid that the time is not enough. Thinking of this, Lu Nan looked at the panel. Name: Lu Nan. Title: Necromancer Apprentice. Level: LV18. HP: 2000. Mana: 200. Constitution: 9. Strength: 9. Dexterity: 8. Stamina: 7. Free attribute points: 54 points. Combat rating: 150 stars. Hiss, the combat power score has increased so much. Even though Lu Nan was prepared, he was also taken aback. After a few more glances, I vaguely understood where such a large increase came from. The blood volume has more than 10 times increased, as well as mana. This increases with rank. In other words, the number of times I can summon has increased by 4 times. No wonder the combat power of 50 stars has been increased all of a sudden. Moreover, he still has no equipment to wear. Although these equipments are only the lowest level, and they are not the mage equipment that Lu Nan wants to increase mana, wearing them can also improve the life-saving ability. Thinking of this, he directly put on the 3 pieces of equipment. The combat power has increased a little, but not much. There is a little bit more. There are a total of 54 attribute points, which are evenly distributed to 4 attributes. For him, except for mana and life, the other effects are pretty much the same. There is really no need for a short board. It's a pity that you can't add some mana at this stage, otherwise, you can allocate some to it. After getting everything down, Lu Nan's attributes became: Name, Lu Nan. Title, Necromancer Apprentice. Level, LV18. HP, 2000. Mana, 200. Constitution, 24. Strength, 22. Agility, 21. Stamina, 20. Free attribute points, 0 points. Combat rating, 165 stars. This combat power is already comparable to that of a senior first-rank professional. However, Lu Nan felt that the assessment of the combat power of the data panel was not necessarily correct for him. Of course, he only had this feeling faintly. Now, let's see the effect of this Abyss secret realm. Lu Nan grabbed the badge of bravery and walked towards the ice area. Not long after, we reached the end of the ice area. In that position, there is a skeleton throne, with many skeletons scattered underneath, and some poisonous insects come in and out among the skeletons from time to time. The throne looks a little rusty, but as soon as you get close, you can feel a deep and terrifying aura. There seems to be no such thing in the knowledge learned in school. The throne piled up in the bones has been mentioned, but according to the book, this thing is just a decoration. But at this moment, the entire throne was surrounded by a faint light, as if something terrifying was in sight. Lu Nan pressed the badge on the card slot on the right armrest, and the next moment, the power of the Abyss is staring at you. Do you want to activate the copy of the secret realm of the Abyss Bones? Activation. A cloud of dim light wrapped his figure and disappeared in place. At the same time, some scattered figures began to appear outside the entrance of the dungeon area. They are all novices who have just changed jobs and upgraded. The tall Jong Tien stood in the middle of the crowd, wearing a low-level suit. Very coquettish. As one of the top students in this year's Linshan Middle School, Jong Tien has an A-level potential evaluation. In the past, he was definitely a man of the moment on campus. Unfortunately, there were 2 S evaluations this year. Fortunately, one of the awakened ones was only the Necromancer. And he, even though he was only rated as A-level, awakened an elemental mage. Brother Jong is now a master with a bright future, and he will be able to quickly pass the novice dungeon later. That's for sure. I heard that the basic combat power of an elemental mage has 5 stars. With the thorn suit on Brother Jong, the combat power must have broken through 15 stars. Apart from Ginu Nianzu, Brother Jong should be the strongest this year. A group of licking dogs surrounded Jong Tien, just to hug Jong Tien's thigh. Being able to equip a complete set of suits just after changing jobs is one of the few in Linshan City. Hearing the compliments from all around, and even 1 or 2 normally arrogant girls came over, Jong Tien was full of pride. However, his target was Ginu Nianzu, so he was quite wary of those women outside. Okay, we've arrived at our destination, you guys go in with me. Jong Tien pointed at several people and said, these people are mainstream occupations. One is a blood-thick and resistant shield guard, one is a warrior, and the other is a priest. There is still the last quota. Jong Tien turned his eyes and wanted to add an archer, but he saw a boy in black not far away, and his heart moved, and he shouted, Ma Fei, my team still lacks an archer. Man, give you a chance. Ma Fei ran over in surprise, but there was some doubt on his face. There are several mainstream occupations around, why choose him? As if seeing his doubts, Jong Tien said lightly, didn't you awaken the Necromancer? I want to let people see, as long as I think, even a Necromancer can get along well. As soon as these words came out, the eyes of the people around suddenly brightened. It's a pity that because Jong Tien looks a little ugly, most of these gazes are from men. HMPH. What's the use of being handsome? Strength is the real king. Jong Tien glanced around coldly. This child has some courage. You need to observe carefully. There was a hint of admiration in the eyes of the old man standing aside. In the past, Yan Kingdom endured humiliation, and only then did high-level professionals be born. Unfortunately, this matter has both advantages and disadvantages. Because some people are bearing the burden of humiliation, while some people really knelt down, facing professionals from other countries, consciously shorter. Even speak softly. Therefore, looking at Jong Tien's domineering appearance, he was more pleasing to the eye. Let's choose the novice secret realm. At this time, Jong Tien had already set a team and walked towards this side. What secret realm? The old man smiled. Your thorn suit can play the most important role in the skeleton secret realm. Maybe you can choose the skeleton secret realm. The old man made a point. Jong Tien nodded. You think the same as I do. Just choose the skeleton secret realm. I'm very interested in dealing with those bone scum. Children can be taught. Maybe this guy can see if he can be elected into the trade union. The old man secretly said. However, their trade union is not a low-level trade union, so naturally it is impossible to absorb it with just a few glances. The trade union has limited positions, and everyone wants to absorb truly useful talents. Only then will they feed back the trade union and make it stronger. Continue to observe. The old man opened the data panel and opened the chat channel. Old Mo, what's the result of today's test? What professions have those two seedlings awakened? Hey, don't mention it. 2S level potential evaluation seeds, only one is functioning normally. Hearing your tone, it's the junior of the GU family who is acting normally. Yes, what about the other one? Awakened the necromancer profession. Pity. By the way, I found a talent. It seems to be pretty good. Please check for me, what is the origin? What is it called? Jong Tien. Just as the old man finished speaking, suddenly, a piece of news jumped out. Senior, something happened. The message was from someone who maintains several replica regions. What happened? The magic crystals for running the dungeon are not enough. How come? I remember that even if the magic crystal here is running around the clock, it can be used for a few days, right? The old man was puzzled, so he called someone to take his place, and then walked into a room behind. This is where the maintenance copy is run. Each dungeon corresponds to a number, filled with a large number of magic crystals, exuding a faint blue brilliance. Several staff members are gathering in front of a dungeon to talk at the moment. What's the specific situation? The old man walked over. Senior. Several staff members came over one after another, pointing to the copy numbered 1. I don't know why. Just now, the magic crystal in the dungeon of the skeleton secret realm erupted with a strong light, as if it had been consumed too much. Excessive consumption. The old man frowned, then said with a smile, this is a good thing. The others looked puzzled. The old man smiled and said, the consumption of magic crystals in running the dungeon has skyrocketed, which proves that there is a powerful force in the dungeon, so it increases the burden of running the dungeon. It seems that those little guys are hiding some secrets that we don't know. The old man said, didn't we just send a batch of magic crystals yesterday? Take them all out. Maybe our Linshan city is about to produce a powerful character. As soon as he finished speaking excitedly, the old man suddenly remembered something, looked at several staff members, and said, don't tell the news, otherwise, no one will be able to save you. Okay. After doing this, the old man looked towards the copy and opened the chat channel on the data panel. Old Mo, we probably missed it. Huh, Jong Tien. No mistake. As soon as that guy brought people in, the dungeon magic crystal was consumed a lot. This, can't it? I just read his information, and he is an elemental mage. Hey, don't look at the superficial things. We are all experienced, don't we know the psychology of those little guys? Those little guys might want to keep their secrets from themselves, and wait for one day to become a blockbuster. You mean, Jong Tien has other secrets? It shouldn't be wrong. Otherwise, why would there be such fluctuations in the dungeon? I just checked those magic crystals a few days ago. Even if it is running around the clock, it can last for 3 to 5 days, but now, it is barely a day. Besides, you also know that I have been staying here today, and I know who goes in. If I say that the one who interests me the most is Jong Tien, only he can cause such an impact. Trust me, you're right. Okay, I'll go over right now. Don't let those people know. There are still a few union members here. I'll try my best. You also know that not only our trade union can see the data of the dungeon. Linshan Middle School. A group of school leaders are accompanying several extraordinary professionals to communicate. At this time, the principal Lu Binian suddenly saw Mo Dao next to him showing a hint of anxiety, and asked curiously, "Is there something urgent about City Master Mo?" Mo Dao laughed, concealed his past, and said, "No. But we have talked about things, so let's do this first, I still have some things to deal with." Lu Binian hesitated for a moment, and said, "Master Mo, the membership agreement of student Lu Nan." Mo Dao's face darkened, and he said with a half-smile, "Principal Lu, don't make things difficult for us. Do you think an ordinary necromancer can enter Longtang?" "No, no, no. As the top guild in Yan Kingdom, Longtang certainly doesn't think so, but, you see, is it possible for him to enter a sub-guild one level below Longtang?" As the principal, Lu Binian naturally hopes that his hometown can produce a top talent. This is impossible. However, it is possible to switch to other people. In terms of personnel, I will choose by myself at that time. Let's do this first one. Seeing Mo Dao leave in a hurry, Lu Binian sighed deeply. "What's the matter, Principal?" Lu Nan's head teacher came over and asked with concern. "No, let's go with another person," the female teacher said angrily. How could they do this? When Lu Nan evaluated the S-level potential evaluation, they agreed to many conditions in order to win Lu Nan. Otherwise, how could the other 9th level trade unions not send people? Come over. Even if the awakening fails and the main conditions are not fulfilled, some additional conditions must be fulfilled. Hey, others are powerful. Forget it. It's just suffering for that child Lu Nan. Lu Nan didn't know that so many things had happened outside in such a short period of time. After a while, he appeared in front of a deep passage. There are clusters of flames on both sides. However, the extreme darkness made the light look useless, and the range of illumination was only limited to the flames. As soon as Lu Nan stood still, he heard some strange voices, like the whispers of the undead from the abyss. What the hell is this place? Everything that appeared in front of him was beyond Lu Nan's cognition. You are affected by the environment, and your vision is greatly reduced. You have been eroded by the power of the abyss, and the 4-dimensional attributes will be reduced by 50%. A series of debuff states appeared. Look at the panel. Fortunately, the health and mana have not been reduced, otherwise, I would be a little panicked. In such a terrible environment, Lu Nan did not dare to be careless, and directly cast the spell of summoning skeletons. Weak skeleton warriors emerged from the spirit formation, and then frantically rushed into it. Vision. Wherever the skeleton legion goes, it is all in my field of vision. Debuff status. If you have the ability, even the summoned creatures will be reduced, otherwise, it will basically have no effect on me. Lu Nan felt more and more the horror of the Necromancer. There are many harsh environments in the secret realm, and professionals can easily fall into a state of debuffs, resulting in a significant reduction in combat power. But necromancers are much less affected. This is similar to the summoner. Of course, the summoned creatures of ordinary necromancers are unreliable at all. Only those like myself who can have an army of undead creatures by their side are truly invincible. Not long after, the weak skeleton warrior at the front encountered the enemy. It was a kind of undead wrapped in armor. It was at least 1.8 meters tall, and the green ghost fire was exposed from the helmet. Dark Warrior, HP, 5000. Mana, Na, Constitution, 90. Strength, 85. Agility, 80. Stamina, 89. Combat rating, 68 stars. As expected of a hidden dungeon, a mob has a combat power of 68 stars. You know, there are some job changers who have almost this level of combat power. The powerful Dark Warrior held the long sword in his hand and swiped it suddenly, and 3 weak skeleton warriors flew out immediately. 2 of them directly turned into a ball of black light and scattered into a ball of white bones. Although the other one didn't die, it wasn't much better. The bones of the chest and abdomen were severely broken, but the undead creature, as long as it didn't die, could continue to output. It struggled to get up, and was about to kill the Dark Warrior, but unfortunately, the weak skeleton warrior behind it rushed over impatiently and drowned it. You killed the Dark Warrior, experience plus 10000. You got the dark robe clothes. Grade, black iron. Physique plus 20, life plus 100, all resistance plus 1. Suit, 0 quarters. 2 quarters constitution plus 10. 4 quarters life plus 1%, mana plus 1%. Reference mark. A sage who walks in the darkness, all living beings perish under the light of the staff. It turned out to be a suit. Lu Nan was pleasantly surprised. Sets before one turn are very rare and expensive. Put it on the trading bank, at least it can sell for millions of dollars. Of course, that means the full set. If it is a single part, the value will be much lower. However, no matter how low it is, it can be sold for more than 100,000 or 200,000. This thing is quite suitable for me, so don't sell it for now. His skeleton army is invincible, but his own life-saving ability is very average. It can be said that he has fully utilized the characteristics of the mage's crispy skin. The dark suit adds health and mana, which is very suitable for him. It can only be said that it is indeed a hidden copy, and the explosion rate is very gratifying. The first monster dropped a set part. While Lu Nan was looking at the harvest, the weak skeleton warriors rushed in. The monsters at the black iron level are indeed tyrannical. Lu Nan couldn't help but marvel when he saw them slashing and killing each other. If he only had 100 or 1,000 skeletons, he might not be the opponent of those dark warriors, but mighty skeletons, even if the damage was only 1 point mandatory, could completely overwhelm the opponent. Ants bite elephants, nothing more. You killed the dark warrior, experience plus 10000. You killed the dark warrior, experience plus 10000. You killed the dark mage, experience plus 15,000. A large amount of information is constantly appearing on the data panel. A large number of upgraded white lights appeared on Lu Nan's body again, almost every few seconds. Comfortable, so comfortable, standing in the skeleton army, surrounded by skeleton warriors. Moreover, those skeleton warriors did not squeeze towards him at all, so the space was quite wide. Under the light of the upgrade, it was warm, like soaking in a hot spring. If only there was another throne. Lu Nan thought of the skeleton throne outside, and felt a little itchy in his heart. And at this moment, suddenly, there was a violent roar in front of him. Through the vision of the skeleton at the front, Lu Nan saw a huge figure. It is more than 2 meters high, holding a simple sickle in his hand, standing on an abandoned altar. Dirty skeletons, how dare they covet the power of the gods? Unforgivable. The sickle, which was as tall as a person, swung down. Every time, a piece of skeleton warrior's life was harvested. Dense damage jumped out. Lu Nan was shocked. What a strong monster. In just half a minute, hundreds of weak skeleton warriors pouring into the hall were wiped out. The Harvester of Life. Level 50. HP 100,000. Mana 5,000. Constitution 120. Strength 110. Agility 115. Stamina 150. Combat rating 128 stars. Skills: Death Storm, Gaze of Death. Note: the mysterious power from the abyss once stared at this world. The information of the monster appeared in Lu Nan's vision. It can be said that this is the strongest monster he has encountered so far. With a thinking attribute as high as 3 digits, and a full 100,000 blood volume, it is difficult for any newcomer to resist. I don't know if I can stop my army of skulls. Thinking, Lu Nan cast the spell again. In the past few minutes, mana recovered a few points, which didn't seem like much, but to him, it was thousands of skeleton warriors. In addition, because the passage was too small, he hadn't summoned all the skeletons, so there was still a lot of mana left. As the light of the spell continued to light up, weak skeleton warriors with complete limbs emerged from the spirit circle without interruption, quickly filling the area cleared by the life harvesters. -1. -1. Dense damage jumped out from the monster, occasionally mixed with some crit damage. In just a few minutes, the life harvester's blood volume dropped by thousands. And, it's still going on. At this time, Lu Nan suddenly noticed a gaze falling on him, and his heart skipped a beat. The life harvester seemed to be aware of Lu Nan's existence, and wanted to cross the distance and kill Lu Nan, the instigator, but a large number of skeleton warriors blocked the passage, and even if there were a large number of deaths, there was still no loosening. 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 10 minutes later. Suddenly, a violent breath filled the entire hall. In the messy hall, the life harvester suddenly let out a sharp roar, and the scythe in his hand shot out a large number of phantom scythes like a hurricane. The weak skeleton warriors around fell like wheat. But more skeleton warriors emerged from the passage. This is the real undead army. Amidst Lu Nan's exclamation, the huge figure fell violently, and a large amount of light appeared on the ground. You killed the life harvester and gained 100,000 experience. You killed the dark mage, experience plus 30,000. Your level has been raised to level 35. Your level has been raised to level 36. Your level has been raised to level 41-1. Your level has been raised to level 43. Your level has been raised to level 50. Your level has been raised to the current limit. Please go to the job-changing temple to upgrade. Hiss, I have reached the limit of an ordinary job changer in less than a day. Who else is there? Seeing the eye-catching news, Lu Nan was filled with emotion. For a general job changer, within 3 hours of the dungeon, it is almost enough to be able to advance to level 4 or 5. Even if it is customs clearance, because of the relationship between the team and the experience gain is reduced, it is very remarkable to be able to advance to level 11 or level 2. But he, in just over an hour, reached the limit before one turn. What hidden professions are all weak? Lu Nan laughed, and consumed all the attribute points according to the previous allocation mode. Name, Lu Nan. Title, Necromancer Apprentice. Level, LV 50. HP, 5,500. Mana, 800. Constitution, 48. Strength, 46. Agility, 45. Stamina, 44. Free attribute points, 0 points. Combat rating, 245 stars. Greatly increased combat power. However, I just upgraded to level 18 before, and my combat power has increased by more than 100 at once, but now I have upgraded to level 32, and my combat power has only increased by less than 100. It is probably because the undead creatures summoned by the skeleton summoning technique are too low-level reason. During the fight with the life harvester, Lu Nan also discovered some of his current shortcomings. In the face of high-level monsters that are too strong, they are still a little weak. You can learn new skills after one turn, and then you can quickly become stronger. Now let's see how the harvest is. Lu Nan walked forward, and the remaining skeleton warriors moved to the sides one after another, revealing a passage. Pick up all items on the ground that drop light. Lu Nan's face was suddenly full of surprise. Get rich. Dark gauntlets, clothes. Grade, black iron. Strength plus 5, stamina plus 5. Suit, 0 quarters. 2 quarters constitution plus 10. 4 quarters life plus 1%, mana plus 1%. Reference mark. A sage who walks in the darkness, all living beings perish under the light of the staff. A 4-piece set of dark suits, all collected. There's even an extra set. In addition, there was another piece of equipment that surprised him greatly. Scythe of the Dead weapon. Grade, Baijin, all attribute increase plus 5%. Skill, Greed of the Dead passive. Life that dies under King's Scythe will be absorbed by it. 1. Increase life. 0.50 thousandths. 2. Equipment requirements. 1 turn. Reference mark. The dead yearn for life, it is always waiting for the opportunity. I go. Lu Nan couldn't help but swear. It turned out to be a Baijin weapon. He has only heard of this thing, but has never seen it at all. Basically, only the bosses with 4 or 5 ranks have the opportunity to equip it. Moreover, the equipment requirements for this thing turned out to be only 1 turn. The drop of this hidden copy seems a bit exaggerated. Lu Nan felt a little uneasy. Originally, I just wanted to eat some instant noodles, but I didn't expect to have a full meal. Who would not panic? In contrast, other drops are very general. Lu Nan sorted it out briefly, and then learned a skill book that had fallen. It happened to be a skeleton call. It can be said that this hidden abyss copy is the worst drop. A skill book is harmless, and it is only a small improvement for the skeleton summoning that is already at level 200. Let's go back first. After the dungeon is cleared, just leave by default. A mass of white light wrapped around, and the next moment, Lu Nan appeared in front of the copy. It actually came out. Come out before the time is up, it's considered self-knowledge. The old man's earnest words came from his ears. Lu Nan just thought about it, and knew that the old man must have misunderstood something. Self-knowledge. Come out early. That's because you don't know that I just punched through the copy. Lu Nan doesn't want to deliberately publicize this kind of publicity. Who knows if there will be Urguzi staring at him. After awakening, some geniuses in Yan Kingdom were well protected. That guy Jiu Nianzu should be too. Although being exposed can directly obtain the above-mentioned training, but correspondingly, there are many dangers to face. Lu Nan felt that it would be better for him to be more stable. At least, until you have enough strength, you can't expose it. Thank you for the old man's advice. I will definitely be careful. Not stupid. The old man shook his head and said. At this time, another burst of light appeared not far away. Seeing Jong Tien coming out, the old man turned his head to a staff member and said, "What happened to the magic crystal inside?" Just stopped. I used a lot of magic crystals. Okay, sure enough. He walked over with a happy face, extremely excited. Lu Nan glanced at Jong Tien, who was somewhat complacent, and walked towards the city. Student Lu Nan. Before walking a few steps, a figure jumped out and stopped in front. Lu Nan, Brother Jong is very talkative, and he sympathizes with your experience very much. I want to give you a chance and take you with me once. Do you want to come together? Ma Fei said triumphantly. Look at me, I'm also a necromancer, and I'm already level 6. Ma Fei said. Before entering the first round, it is difficult for one's own level to be seen by others. This is indeed an elemental mage. The next novice dungeon is not long, and it has been upgraded to level 6. Brother Jong is still bringing someone. You can only enter the novice dungeon once. If you want to enter again, the price will be high. Brother Jong has an extraordinary background, so he can definitely afford it. Hey, look at your crooked melon and cracked dates, why did they take you? Very good. Not in vain, I will take you to brush a copy. Jong Tien next to him showed a hint of color on his face. Lu Nan didn't see Jong Tien's little expressions, and shook his head, not bad. Keep working hard. Said, walked away directly. Ma Fei was left in a mess in the wind. What's the meaning? Just as he was about to stop Lu Nan, Jong Tien said, this guy just wants to save face. He still doesn't know it. Don't worry about him. When we become stronger in the future, he will naturally embarrass him. You dragons don't talk to snakes. Brother Jong is right. Then Lu Nan looks very handsome, but he just doesn't wink. How could I like such a person before? I'm really blind. Among the crowd, a 200 Jin Jaco spat on the ground. But, I thought to myself, it's a pity for that good looks. Haha, good job, little brother. I wonder if you want to join our trade union. The old man walked out. I already have a union I'm interested in. Jong Tien glanced at the old man. Oh, what trade union? I wonder if I, Long Tang, can help. What, you mean, Long Tang? Naturally, the old man said proudly. The entire Yan Kingdom is governed by several major trade unions, with the official support. For example, Mo Dao, the Lord of Linshan City, is a member of the Longtang Trade Union. Once he heard that it was the Longtang Union, how could Jong Tien dare to put on a pose? Although I don't know why the other party will take a fancy to me, but there is no need to think about this kind of benefit, first agree to it. As for the trade union that was identified before, I can only feel wronged about it. Will, the old man laughed and said, that's good. Soon, you will be a member of my Longtang Union. The old man was very happy when he recruited a newcomer to the union, and said, you are still at the apprentice level now, after the first turn, you can officially join the union and get the bonus of the union. I know. Jong Tien suppressed his excited expression. For him, this kind of thing is simply pie in the sky. Then I will immediately enter the dungeon to level up. New job changers can enter the novice dungeon for free, but if they want to enter after clearing the customs, it will cost a lot of money. The old man nodded, and said, okay. Brush a few more times, and you can upgrade to level 50 as soon as you want. By the way, take another look. For the top trade unions, it is still very fast to train a person to the first rank. Okay. Jong Tianxing quickly sent a message to his father Zhang Chao. To open a fresh copy, he needs the support of his family. After all, at least 100,000 alliance coins are needed to enter once. How are you? And Xiaoke, the only friend, sent a message. Very brief. Seems like it's busy over there. All the best. Lu Nan replied a message, thinking about a surprise for his sister-in-law after a while. The money on hand is temporarily used to improve strength. Only when the strength goes up, can we make better money. While thinking, he walked towards the job transfer temple. The professional temple is not far from the job-changing Godstone, which is the core area of Linshan City. Lu Nan was passing by the job-changing Godstone when he smelled a fragrant wind. It's his head teacher, Annan. Lu Nan, where have you been? Annan was out of breath, and his graceful figure jumped a little while running. When he saw Lu Nan's face, he suddenly flushed. So handsome. I went to the novice dungeon for a while. How do you feel? In fact, you should join the guild first, and then enter the dungeon. Teacher, there is an invitation letter from the guild. If you don't mind, you can take it. However, this guild is not very strong, only second level. Not everyone can create a trade union, it requires many conditions. And because the number of places in each trade union is limited, not everyone can join. Although Lu Nan is a necromancer, he is more or less a fighting profession, and it is not difficult to join a union. No need, teacher. Lu Nan knows the role of trade unions. In the future, you must join a trade union, because there are many benefits that the Lone Ranger cannot do. However, his goal is not a secondary union. Annan felt a little pity. To be honest, she really wanted Lu Nan to form a union with her, so that they could deepen their relationship by then. Alright, also, the school has arranged for you a few novice dungeon places, which can be regarded as some compensation for you. Newbie dungeon quota. What do I want that thing for? I guess I don't have much experience now. By the way, Mr. Annan, I would like to ask, is there any hidden dungeon in the novice dungeon? I've never heard of this. Alright, it seems that Anan's level may not be enough. Lu Nan didn't think about it anymore, nodded and said, then thank the principal and the teacher. I'll go in first, and we'll talk when I have time. Okay. Annan nodded subconsciously, watched Lu Nan enter the temple, then turned and walked back. Wrong. What is Lu Nan doing at the career transfer temple? You must know that the job-changing temple only faces professionals with one job or more. Could it be he's already going for a turn? Impossible. At this point in time, even Ginu Nianzu can't level up so fast. You know, Ginu Nianzu is led by a boss. After waiting for a while, seeing that Lu Nan did not come out, Annan also went back. Hi, may I help you? Walking into the temple, a pretty female staff member showed a sweet smile. Where did you change jobs? Here one. The female staff stared at Lu Nan's face for a while, then got up and led him to a side hall on the right. Inside there is a blue aperture resembling a copy entrance. Just go inside. However, before going in, it's best to take off the equipment on your body. Why? Every time you change jobs, the job transfer temple will immediately release some job transfer tasks, and your own combat power may cause changes in the degree of difficulty. Lu Nan quickly took off several pieces of equipment on his body. Fortunately, I didn't improve my strength a lot before I came here, otherwise, I would have really made it more difficult for myself. Good luck. Watching Lu Nan stepping into the aperture, the female staff wished her heartfelt blessings. In a blink of an eye, Lu Nan appeared in a closed temple, surrounded by various ancient bronze artifacts. I don't know what they were. Even if he stared wide-eyed, it was difficult to see clearly. It seemed that there was a layer of fog that was hard to get rid of between the two. There is a ball of light emitting blue light directly in front of it. It is detected that the player is about to transfer, and the job transfer task will be released. Turn 1 mission. The Lost Hero. Difficulty: 9 stars. Mission description. Legend has it that a brave man is lost in the novice dungeon. Please go there, find and defeat him, and get the mark of the brave. Mission reminder. It is said that in the place where the badge of the brave is dropped, the traces of the lost brave can be found. I saw. 9-star difficulty. Is it so lucky? Seeing the word 9 on the task difficulty, Lu Nan almost couldn't help swearing. He deeply doubts that taking off equipment can reduce the probability of getting to a difficult task. Is this statement correct? It's really enough to give me the highest level for a first-rank task. However, after seeing the follow-up task description, Lu Nan was relieved immediately. Where did the badge of bravery drop? I am familiar with this. As long as there are traces to follow. It just so happens that the school sent out several novice dungeons to try to see if there are any new hidden dungeons in the other dungeons. Now, in the novice dungeon area, only hidden dungeons can arouse his interest. After all, the Bone Secret Realm just dropped a Baijin weapon for him. If it is sold, it is estimated that it will be no problem to get several tens of millions. Take care. When I went out, the good-looking employee hadn't left yet. I wanted to add a data friend with Lu Nan, but when I saw Lu Nan walking out with a dark face, I immediately resisted the urge. Could it be that you received a difficult task? Curiously, she walked to the system on one side and entered her job number to check. Immediately, some simple information appeared on the interface, only name, occupation, and task difficulty. When she saw the number above, the young lady gasped. 9 stars. It's really too miserable. This is really jealous of beauty. The young lady said with emotion. With 9-star difficulty, not many people in the entire Yan Kingdom can complete it. Immediately, I couldn't help feeling sorry for Lu Nan's handsome face. Chapter 11. After coming out of the job transfer temple, Lu Nan went directly to the Chungan trading house and hung up the things on his body. The first is the dark suit. Now he has 2 sets of dark suits, one for his own use and one for sale. There are also some scattered whiteboard equipment. Although the value is not high, they are worth 30,000 to 50,000 alliance coins. Boss, here comes the business. Lu Nan called. It's you again. Let me tell you, I don't have the skill book you want. The fat boss said vigilantly. Is that so? It seems that this set of equipment is not destined for you. Lu Nan took out the dark suit from the space backpack with a pitiful expression on his face. As he spoke, he was about to leave. Etc., etc. The fat boss jumped out from the counter with quick eyesight and quick hands. This skill, at least, is only available to those who have turned 1 or more. Yes, there are still some skills for summoning skeletons. There is something to discuss. How much is some? The fat boss gritted his teeth. How much do you want? The more the better. Show me the suit attributes first. Lu Nan directly highlighted the attributes. I'm not afraid that he has any bad thoughts. The equipment is in his hands, as long as it is not approved by him, even if it is given to the other party will not be able to use it. After the game came to reality, the thieves disappeared. It can be seen. When he saw the attributes of the suit clearly, the fat boss's eyes lit up. I still have hundreds of skeleton summoning skill books here. If you want, I can sell them to you. Moreover, the price of your equipment is 1 million alliance coins. Make a deal. The price given by the fat man is fair. If you sell it in a big city, you may be able to sell it at a higher price, but the price difference is not big. If you have that time, wouldn't it be good to upgrade more and fight monsters? The dark suit is nothing more than a black iron suit, which is only used as a transition. By the way, sell some other things that are not needed. All the alliance coins obtained are used to purchase skills. A total of 800 skeleton summoning books. 10 copies of Undead Swamp, 40 copies of Knight's Funeral. It took a long time for the fat boss to find all the skill books. You're ruining my life. I wouldn't give you this price for skill books for other professions. These skill books have completely exceeded the million alliance coins, but the fat boss was shocked by Lu Nan's increasing handwriting and decided to invest some. If you have any follow-up, you can find me. I dare say that in this Linshan city, there is absolutely no one else who is cheaper than me. The fat man patted his chest and said, I want more Necromancer skill books, as many as there are. Linshan City's Undead series of skill books were almost sold out by himself, and if he wanted to buy them again, he would have to go to other cities. However, the wild is very dangerous, and all kinds of monsters are rampant, and it is still a bit troublesome to go to another city. Simply, leave it to a professional. No problem. After receiving this big order, the fat boss was very excited and wanted to lure Lu Nan in for tea. Where did Lu Nan have the time? He quickly refused and returned home. Have you heard? Someone in the city has joined the 9th level guild. Really? Is it so easy to enter the 9th level guild? All I know is that the girl from the Ginu family joined Phoenix 9 Heavens. Could it be that there are others? Yes. Do you know who it is? It seems to be Jong Tien from the Jong family. Didn't you say that Jong Tien just awakened an elemental mage? How could he join the 9th level guild? The 9th level guild is a top-level guild, and its income standards are very strict, either because it hides its occupation or it doesn't excel in certain aspects. Jong Tien, who didn't hide his profession, actually got the invitation letter from Long Tang, which shocked countless people. It's a pity that kid from Lao Lu's family. On the way home, Lu Nan heard many people discussing, and felt neither sad nor happy. After a while, there will be a ladder event, and all guilds will pay attention to it, so there is no rush. The climbing ladder event is held every year, and that's the best time to formally choose a union. The school recruitment like before is just an appetizer. Moreover, the rewards for climbing the ladder are very rich. Last year's first place was rewarded with a set of Baijin suits. A Baijin suit, worth billions of alliance coins, took off directly on the spot. I don't know how many skill books I can buy. After entering the door and getting some food, Lu Nan took out the skill book and studied one by one. You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and the skill level has increased. You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and the skill level has increased. After more than 10 minutes, the skeleton summoning was upgraded to level 999. Lu Nan is already a little numb. Fortunately, it feels very comfortable to become stronger, otherwise, I will really be autistic in the future. It would be great if I could learn 100 books at once. The thought flashed, and the next moment, the remaining 2 skill books all turned into white light and disappeared. You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and the skill level has increased. You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and the skill level has increased. Skill progress meets the conditions, successfully advanced. Question mark question mark question mark. Advanced. Lu Nan quickly looked at the data panel. After a while, a trace of ecstasy appeared on his face. Awesome. I saw that the original skeleton summoning skill has become. Skull summoning, level 1001, consume 1 mana point to summon 1001 units of Skull Warriors, Black Iron level. Cooldown time is 1 second. Very powerful metamorphosis. If it is said that the previous Lu Nan still had a lot of shortcomings, and he might overturn in the face of high-quality bosses, then with the advanced changes in skills, this shortcoming will disappear. Black Iron Skeleton Warriors are not comparable to weak Skeleton Warriors. You can see the difference by looking at the attributes. Skeleton Warrior, Dark Iron. HP, 10,000. Mana, Na. Constitution, 100. Strength, 100. Dexterity, 100. Stamina, 100. Combat rating, 50 stars. A full 50 times difference in strength. The 4-dimensional attribute is not high, but it is far from what the weak skeleton warrior can match. This is the strength of a normal turn, and now I can summon. Lu Nan just thought about it for a while, and he became a little excited. Now he has up to 800 mana and can cast 800 skeleton summons in a short period of time. And a single call of 1001 Black Iron Skeleton Warriors. From a certain point of view, my strength is more than 800,000 times that of an ordinary first-turn professional. Although he knew that this algorithm was illogical, Lu Nan couldn't help but gasp. Sure enough, the strong are always strong. Perhaps those hidden occupations were only a few stars stronger than ordinary occupations at the first level, but at the first, second, and third ranks, the gap may become hundreds of stars. Powerful. It's simply too strong. There is also a dark suit. Lu Nan quickly took out the remaining set of dark suits. After a while, the data on the panel changed again. With the blessing of the dark suit, his combat power score has been greatly improved. Name, Lu Nan. Title, Necromancer Apprentice. Level, LV 50. HP, 5656. Mana, 808. Constitution, 88. Strength, 56. Agility, 55. Stamina, 49. Free attribute points, 0 points. Combat rating, 415 stars. Nearly 200-star combat power increase. You know, the general third-rank professional has a combat power of just over 300 stars, and the 4-star professional is almost equal to this combat power rating. According to the data, my current combat power is almost equal to that of a 4-star professional. Lu Nan was amazed. In fact, his combat power has been greatly improved, but the further the number of rotations is, the harder it is to improve. Therefore, it cannot be measured simply by combat power. Just to try the effect, He didn't dare to cast spells at home, otherwise, if a skeleton summons and thousands of skeletons appear, they can blow up the house he lives in, and it will probably cause a sensation by then. In order to prevent the 500,000 plan to kill Yao, Lu Nan still decided to hold on for the time being. Anyway, the benefits of the trade union will not run away. Out the door, directly to the school. The principal, Lu Binian, was busy with other things, so Lu Nan had no choice but to go to the teaching office, took those places, and walked towards the copy area. Along the way, news of the Jong family Jong Tien joining the 9th level guild Longtang was full of news. Lu Nan didn't take it seriously either, and soon, he reached the novice dungeon area. So many people. As soon as I arrived at the entrance, I saw a sea of people, and many residents of Linshan City came to watch the excitement. After inquiring about it, I found out that Jong Tien actually wanted to make a dungeon too. Really rich. Lu Nan was a little envious. You know, his more than 100,000 alliance coins have been accumulated for more than 10 years. And sister-in-law Chen Xiaokei's more than 100,000 alliance coins must have been saved for a long time. On the vast majority of novice professionals, it is impossible to spend 100,000 alliance coins to refresh a novice dungeon. Unless, that guy knows the secret of hiding the dungeon. Lu Nan thought of hiding the copy. Without thinking too much, I walked directly towards the entrance of the copy. Brother Zhang, it's that kid Lu Nan. Since the last dungeon, Ma Fei, the Necromancer, has completely turned into Jong Tien's dog leg. In this short time, he also knew why he was able to join Jong Tien's team. Because, that kid Lu Nan is also a necromancer. Don't worry about him. This kind of pretentious person can only use his strength to make him realize the reality. Jong Tien has already thought about it a bit. In the past half day, he met many people and saw many unimaginable scenery before, and his heart opened up a lot. He no longer wanted to jump directly in front of Lu Nan and yell, that would be too out of place. Looking at Zhang Chao, Mo Dao and others not far away, he sneered and said, "Today, I must show you what speed is." Going back in this short time is not only about taking money from the Zhang family, but also preparing a lot of things. Although I don't know why Long Teng chose you, but you have to remember one thing, that is, the better your performance, the greater the benefit to you. Thinking of his father's words, Jong Tien was full of confidence. I want to enter the Goblin Novice Dungeon. Lu Nan walked to the counter and said to the staff. Now, this time, it was not the old man who was in charge of the registration, but a young professional. Yes, okay, let's go in. The young man muttered for a while. If you don't take a good look at the fun at this time, what kind of dungeon are you playing? After all, let's register and let Lu Nan go. Except for a few people, no one noticed his arrival. I don't know if there is a hidden copy of the Goblin copy. Although the job transfer task reminded that there were footprints of the Brave in the place where the badge of the Brave was dropped, but last time he cleared the skeleton secret realm, he didn't see any footprints of the Brave. Therefore, whether other dungeons have this thing is another matter. At the same time that Lu Nan disappeared, Jong Tien also began to prepare to enter the instance. Senior, enough magic crystals have been prepared. A copy maintenance staff member ran to the old man and said. Okay, let's see now how good that kid is. The old man laughed. Several people on the side also nodded. Many people found that these few people had a dragon totem medal hanging on their chests, which was the symbol of dragon members. We're going in. Jong Tien got ready and walked to the counter with a few teammates. Haha, which dungeon are you going to enter? The young man who received Lu Nan changed his previous impatience and smiled gently. Jong Tien was about to talk about the skeleton secret realm, but Ma Fei, who had been staring at him for a long time, suddenly said, Brother Zhang, that kid Lu Nan entered the Goblin dungeon. Jong Tien showed a hint of admiration, and said, then let's go to the Goblin dungeon. With a flash of light, Lu Nan appeared in a dense jungle surrounded by towering trees. A strong rainforest smell rushed towards him. In the jungle not far away, some green monsters could be vaguely seen walking around. Goblin Ranger. Level. LV5. HP. 100. Mana. Na. Constitution. 10. Strength. 10. Dexterity. 10. Stamina. 10. Combat rating. 1 star. Welfare is no different. Mr. Annan doesn't know about the hidden dungeon, what conditions may need to be met to obtain the badge of bravery. Lu Nan didn't think too much, and just repeated the process of the last time in the skeleton's secret realm. With the appearance of a huge magic circle, there was a strange sound on the ground. Caw caw caw. A skeleton glowing with cold metal emerged from the ground. It was 1.8 meters tall and the bone blade in its hand was like a long sword, more than 3 feet long. The beating flames in the head became more and more intense, and the empty eye sockets were quite penetrating. Compared with the weak skeletons summoned before, the black iron skeleton warriors are much stronger, and they are firm and powerful when walking, like veterans of many battles. The deep cold skeleton warriors climbed out one by one, quickly submerging the surrounding shrubs and grasses. Soon, the strangeness attracted the attention of the patrolling goblins. And not just the ones in the field of vision, but the goblin battle in the entire goblin camp was alarmed. Deep in the jungle, beside a huge bonfire, masses of goblin rangers do strange dances around campfires. There are 2 tents on the left and right. At this time, 2 tall goblin warriors suddenly walked out of the tent, holding battle axes in their hands, and roared furiously on their ferocious faces. Professionals, let them die. The 2 warriors kept waving the battle axes in their hands, causing the blood of the goblins around them to boil. However, at this moment, in the surrounding jungle, a formidable skeleton figure stepped out, and the bone sword directly pierced through the nearest goblin forest ranger. 268. The goblin ranger was instantly killed. Blood spilled all over the place. However, this is just the beginning. In just a few seconds, hundreds of skeleton warriors stepped out of the jungle and beheaded the entire goblin camp. Stronger than those 2 goblin warriors, they only survived for 2 rounds before dying. Lu Nan stood at the back of the team, and some news kept popping up in his mind. You killed the goblin ranger, experience +1. You killed the goblin ranger, experience +1. You killed the goblin ranger, experience +1. You got the goblin love necklace. You got. At first Lu Nan listened to it with gusto, but after a while, he directly blocked the message prompt. You can only see it when you want to. No way. Too much information. Sure enough, the experience of these dungeons has been reduced to the extreme. His level has reached the limit, and the experience gained from killing novice dungeon monsters has dropped sharply. After a while, Lu Nan came to the goblin camp. The densely packed skeleton warriors independently separated a path and let him walk in the middle. There are 3 light clusters on the ground. One is a shooter's skill book called Accurate Shooting. It belongs to the whiteboard level and can only be thrown to the trading bank. One is an ordinary piece of equipment, nothing worth noting. It was the last one that made Lu Nan smile. The badge of the brave, black iron. It seems that this dungeon really has a secret. Follow the badge prompt, walk into one of the camps, and see an altar on it. Reminder. Put the badge of the brave into the altar, and you can enter the Abyss Goblin's secret realm. Put the badge of the brave directly on it. Activate now. Activation. Kaka. A large amount of gray light began to appear on the altar. Just before Lu Nan disappeared, he suddenly saw that the entire copy seemed to be shaking. Fortunately, it only appeared for a moment before disappearing. Outside, a group of people are hurriedly replacing the magic crystal. However, the few onlookers not only didn't panic when they saw it, but said happily, "It's amazing. It consumed half a month's magic crystal energy in one go. Yeah, I didn't believe it before, but I didn't expect it to be so. We almost missed a talent." Mo Dao, the old man and others exclaimed in amazement. "Quickly arrange for the magic crystal." Okay, almost done." A staff member who was originally in charge of this place said quickly. The identity of the old man Higao is not simple. He just happened to pass by this time, and temporarily took over the registration of the novice dungeon entrance. Unexpectedly, he fell in love with Jong Tien of the Jong family. Seeing how much he valued Jong Tien, he dispatched an additional batch of magic crystals from other places. In the past, it was absolutely impossible. However, seeing that the magic crystal had just been replaced, suddenly another burst of dazzling light emerged. Everyone exclaimed, the energy of the magic crystal has been deeply stimulated again. Hurry up, move the other magic crystals over. I have a hunch that what I encountered this time might not be a giant python, but a real dragon. Mo Dao and He Gao exclaimed. They know how difficult it is to stimulate the energy fluctuations of the novice dungeon to run the magic crystal. Novice dungeons are not allowed to enter the first rank or more professional players. Even if you want to enter, it will cost a huge price. Therefore, the performance of the novice copy is also a means of testing the potential of newcomers. It is also a reason why He Gao came here to observe. The energy consumed last time was more than 10 days. It is estimated that it can reach the first rank level, but now, at least it has reached the second rank, and even. Talent. No, talent is not enough to describe, he is definitely a monster. He is a monster who can guard a place. No, this news must be kept secret. Also, immediately send a message to the top management of the trade union. This kind of monster must be well cultivated. Ma Fei, you let the skeleton put me on top. Paralyzed, what did you do? I asked you to bring a few monsters over, and you bring a group over to dry eggs. Mine. Ma Fei and the others panicked. Fortunately, Jong Tien did have some skills, and balls of fire flew towards the Goblin Ranger. As a Goblin Ranger fell down, a ray of light emerged from Jong Tien's body. Brother Jong, you have reached level 10, right? It's so fast. In our class, Brother Jong should be the fastest to upgrade, and he reached level 10 in less than a day. Of course, Jong Tien's big brother is a genius who has been spotted by the Longteng Union. He is destined to shine in the future. Hearing the compliments and admiring eyes around him, Jong Tien lightly waved his staff. Go on, although you are just making up the numbers, you can play some role. The time to clear the dungeon this time cannot exceed 1 hour. As soon as the voice fell, suddenly, the dungeon shook. What happened? It should be due to insufficient energy in the dungeon, it's okay. Jong Tien said calmly and well informed. However, he was also very puzzled in his heart, but he knew that He Gao brought a lot of magic crystals here before he came in. Lu Nan didn't know that his summoning skeleton spell caused so many waves. At this moment, he was standing in front of a lush forest. The strange thing is that the forest is not green, but mainly gray. There is something oppressive in the air. It's a dangerous place at first sight. Lu Nan waited in place for a while. It only consumed 10 points of mana just now, and now it has enough ammunition. Moreover, even if it was teleported in, the summoned skeleton warriors did not disappear. With a wave of Lu Nan's hand, tens of thousands of skeleton warriors scattered in all directions. According to the experience of the skeleton secret realm, this hidden copy map should not be infinite. While thinking, he cast a spell. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. In a blink of an eye, an army of 100,000 skeletons appeared. Lu Nan didn't bother to observe any more. After giving the skeleton army an order to kill all enemies, he waited quietly. A few seconds later, the first news came. You kill the Goblin Spearman, experience plus 1000. You kill a Goblin Warrior, experience plus 1000. You kill Goblin Sage, experience plus 2000. If you haven't seen him, you must first hear the news of his death. This is the horror of the undead natural disaster. Who can stop the mighty army crushing it? The experience of hiding the dungeon is very terrifying. Even if he is now, he still has a very considerable experience value. It's not useless. There are still a few chances to earn copies for free. Lu Nan doesn't want to give up. Anyway, it doesn't take much time to brush a copy. When he was planning, the dense news finally stopped. The last message is, you killed the Goblin High Priest, experience plus 2000. The Goblin High Priest should be the last boss of the hidden instance. Lu Nan walked to the end, where there was a huge tent, and the ground was full of goblin corpses. These goblins were much taller and stronger than the goblins outside, but unfortunately, no matter how powerful they were no match for Black Iron level skeleton fighters. If there was a slight possibility that Lu Nan would encounter some setbacks due to the monsters hiding the dungeon in the skeleton secret realm, then now, there is absolutely no possibility at all. If the hundreds of thousands of times the strength of an ordinary first-rank professional cannot crush this hidden dungeon, then the existence of this dungeon will be meaningless. Looked at the harvest. Goblin Love Necklace. Grade. Ordinary. Mana plus 10, Dexterity plus 2. Durability. 2020. Semicolon. Goblin's Fall Earring. Grade. Ordinary. Mana plus 15. Durability. 2020. Goblin guard clothes. Grade. Black iron. Physique plus 20. Life plus 150. Suit 0 quarters. 2 quarters resistance plus 2. 4 quarters life plus 1%. Goblin hand wrist. Goblin armor head. Goblin leggings feet. The first 2 are dropped from the outer copy, while the bottom 4-piece goblin is dropped from the hidden copy. In addition to this, a strange item was also dropped. Mysterious token. Quality. Not identified. Quote. Unidentified items require a dedicated appraiser class. Lu Nan can only put it aside temporarily, and wait for a chance to appraise it. I searched it several times, but unfortunately, I didn't find the imprint of the brave man mentioned in the mission. Isn't it in this copy? Lu Nan decided to continue with the next copy. If there is, you will know after swiping all of them. Soon, Lu Nan left the current copy and appeared in front of the counter at the entrance. I want to brush a copy. It's you again. The registered youth frowned. Come out so soon, can't you beat the dungeon? Let me tell you, you should form a few more people. You are wasting dungeon resources like this. Every time you open a dungeon, you will consume a lot of magic crystal energy. Whether you can pass the level or not, the energy consumed will not make much difference. Thank you. I'll think about it, Lu Nan said. Bring people to upgrade. Experience will be shared. Although it's not much, it's still a share. It's easy to misunderstand people who have no relatives and no reason. Seeing that Lu Nan didn't repent, the staff became more and more indifferent. However, Lu Nan still has 3 times to enter the dungeon, so there is no need to be embarrassed. Okay, the copy transfer entrance has been activated. Lu Nan turned around and entered the copy. This time, it was the goblin's secret realm. And at the moment he disappeared, the staff who maintained the copy on the other side had already collapsed. Just half a minute ago, the magic crystal on the dungeon was running crazily, and they replaced it in a hurry, but they couldn't resist the consumption of running the dungeon. The moment Lu Nan disappeared in the copy, the supply of magic crystals was cut off directly. Bang bang bang. Several figures fell out of the entrance of the goblin dungeon, very embarrassed. What's going on? Jong Tien was very annoyed, and was about to say that he was going to approach the goblin camp, but when he didn't want to, he saw his father Zhong Chao, the city lord Mo Dao, and several members of the Longtang Union running over with kind faces. Very good. Not bad. God, Shaoshan, you are amazing one. At this moment, Jong Tien suddenly doubted life. Am I really that powerful? Forget about my own father, what happened to the others? Could it be that the knowledge points I learned before are all wrong? The teacher was afraid that my talent was too good and that I would be proud, so he told me that I am just a mere elemental mage. Seeing his child's confused face, Zhong Chao coughed and said, it's okay, at this moment, the most important thing is to hurry up and download the dungeon. Jong Tien came back to his senses immediately and nodded. He had just boasted before that he wanted to reach level 20. If he gave up now, it would definitely disappoint the people of Longtang. I'm going to keep brushing the book. Jong Tien led the people towards another copy. I want to enter the goblin's secret realm. You are affected by the environment, and your vision is reduced. You are affected by the environment, and your endurance is reduced. What appeared in front of Lu Nan was a hollowed-out mountain. The ground was full of putrid smells, and from time to time, some slender corpses with hideous skulls could be seen scattered on one side. Some are goblin corpses, some are human corpses. Unless a newcomer has a resurrection item, otherwise, there is no second life at all, and death is really dead. Therefore, when facing some unknown secret realms, no matter how strong a newcomer is, they will be cautious, lest they misjudge the horror of the secret realms and lead to death. Even if some more stable professionals find a hidden copy, they may not enter it, but sell the copy. But here with Lu Nan, there is no need to have the slightest scruples. Quickly cast the summoning skeleton, and a large number of skeleton warriors surged out from the bottom and went into the hole. You killed a weak goblin, experience +1. You killed a weak goblin, experience +1. You killed a weak goblin miner, experience +1. You killed the goblin overseer, experience +100. The drop of ordinary novice dungeons is very ordinary. Lu Nan just glanced at it and threw it into the space backpack. No wonder the novice dungeon can only be used as an early benefit for new professionals, which is really a loss. According to the normal price, the consumption of a dungeon requires 100,000 alliance coins, and it is normal to have an equipment income of 10,000 to 20,000. If you play a copy, you will lose tens of thousands. After a while, Lu Nan got the badge of bravery. Having won the badge of the brave 3 times in a row, Lu Nan also found out a little pattern. If the dungeon clearance time is short to a certain extent, the drop condition is met. Of course, that's just one of the conditions. Lu Nan estimated that there are certain requirements for the strength of the passer. It is estimated that it is limited to under 1 revolution. The activation location of the goblin secret realm is still an altar, located deep underground. Soon, Lu Nan appeared in the hidden copy. Come out, my skeleton army. On a whim, Lu Nan added a sense of ritual to the spellcasting. Suddenly, a huge magic circle appeared on the ground. The skulls glowing with the cold light of black iron are like an army conquering countless planes, madly killing all around. The efficiency is higher than that in the skeleton secret realm. I don't know too much. In just over half a minute, there was not a single monster in the entire hidden dungeon. Knock off. After a general look, there is still no mark of the brave. Lu Nan wasn't discouraged either, just treat it as equipment brushing. After brushing these few times, the income will be at least a few million alliance coins. At that time, a large number of skills will be paid in. Next, another goblin secret realm dungeon. Jong Tien, who had just entered the dungeon, worked hard and took out a bottle of potion to swallow. He could feel something boiling and brewing in his body. Very good. It's this powerful feeling. Jong Tien was delighted. This is the secret medicine that his father bought with great painstaking efforts. It is worth a lot, and it can be said that it is stronger than some Baijin equipment. It was originally used to prepare a hidden secret realm, but now, it was used by him. This time, I must seize the opportunity and enter Longtang. Although it was rumored outside that he was going to join Longtang, only they knew that it was not safe yet. Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing this dungeon here, but would go to the leveling area in the wild. The wild is not as particular as the dungeon secret realm, and the level is limited. When the time comes, let someone take it with you, and the level will take off directly. I heard from my father that after swallowing this secret medicine, it will burst into a powerful momentum in an instant, allowing me to gain the power of a professional who has turned into a professional in a short moment. Jong Tien was proud, but there was a faint expression on his face. It seems that I'm going to show my real strength, just wait for you to watch from the sidelines. Today, I will break through this dungeon within half an hour. The aura accumulated in his body had reached its peak, and the surging pleasure made Jong Tien burst with confidence, and suddenly felt that his teammates were a bit of an eyesore. Soon, coming, he suddenly roared up to the sky, and the next moment, a breath gushed out from his body. However, at this moment, the world suddenly trembled. Papa, the field of vision changed for a while, and he returned to the entrance of the copy in an instant. Hiss, crashed. The dungeon crashed again. Jong Tien is so powerful. It's terrible. I heard that there were similar situations in the novice dungeons of those big cities, but it only crashed once, and it didn't continue to crash. Could it be that Ginu Nianzhu entered the dungeon? Fart, not long ago I saw that Ginu Nianzhu went to the wild leveling area instead of the city. The strongest rookie here is only Jong Tien. How did I see Lu Nan just now? Isn't he an S-level potential evaluation? Hey, brother, your news is lagging. Lu Nan, he just awakened a necromancer. It's a pity. That should be Jong Tien. No wonder Longtang would take a fancy to him and recruit him into the trade union. From now on, Jong Tien and us will no longer belong to the same class. There was a burst of exclamation all around. At the same time, Jong Tien couldn't bear it at all, and the aura that had been accumulated to the extreme burst out. Boom! A gust of wind swept out. A lot of falling leaves fly up. I am Nima. Jong Tien, who was ready to kill monsters, almost cursed. What kind of bullshit dungeon? Didn't you say that it is ready and it will never collapse? If it weren't for Higao who said this to him, he would definitely greet the 18 generations of his ancestors. Jong Tien turned and walked away with a gloomy face. There are still more than 10 minutes left for the effect of the secret medicine, he can't delay. You know, this secret medicine is worth hundreds of millions. The person in charge of registration nodded quickly, and he could see that Jong Tien in front of him was a little anxious. Why are you in a hurry? We should be in a hurry. The copies have crashed several times in a row. The slander belongs to the slander, and Jong Tien, who has already joined Longtang with half a foot, still cannot afford to offend him. You go directly. The copy is open. Anyway, no one enters the dungeon now, the dungeon crashes continuously, and many people are kicked out, watching the excitement. Seeing Jong Tien walking away gloomily, the person in charge of registration looked at it, and secretly said, "What are you dragging? Maybe who caused it to collapse?" After all, Jong Tien wasn't the only one entering the dungeon. Of course, he was just expressing his dissatisfaction, and he didn't have any doubts about this judgment. Compared to Jong Tien, the others are really a bit ordinary. "Hello, I want to make a copy." A faint voice came. "It's you again. The copy is over there, just go there by yourself," the young man said angrily. "No need to register," Lu Nan asked doubtfully. No. Just use up your number of times." The youth is irritable and authentic. "That's fine. Lu Nan can't wait for this. It was a waste of his precious time every time he came to check in. These people are really worrying." The young man was cursing and swearing. Looking at the people watching around, he suddenly thought of Lu Nan. Will it have something to do with him? Immediately dismissed the idea. A necromancer still wants to do this. I want to fart. The series of shocks outside did not affect Lu Nan much. It seems that Jong Tien still has some real skills. Lu Nan thought. As the top guild in Yan Kingdom, Longtang was considered the uncrowned king. At the beginning, I chose this trade union among several trade unions because of this name. Pity. Lu Nan felt a little pity in his heart, but he didn't take it to heart. He dared to say that as long as he showed his strength, the 9-level trade unions were absolutely free to choose. I'm afraid of Urguzi. Defense by day and night, house thieves are hard to guard against. Those fools hid too deeply, but Lu Nan often heard the news that a certain Yan Kingdom genius was blocked and killed. Hold on, only by swiping the dungeon to become stronger can you feel safe. Looking at the monster in front of him, Lu Nan performed the skeleton call habitually. Densely packed skeleton warriors emerged from the ground, beheading monsters one by one. It's still too weak. With a sense of urgency in his heart, Lu Nan even summoned more skeletons. In a few minutes, the hive's secret realm will be cleared. Lu Nan ran to the last flame secret realm non-stop. This dungeon of the secret realm is a mass of flames, with a human shape. As soon as it sees him, it rushes over. Then, it was overwhelmed by countless skeleton warriors. Call, finally found. The mark of the brave is an ancient stone slab with footprints on it, which looks very ordinary. Lu Nan knocked it, and even knocked off some mud. Quickly stopped, worried that the task item would be damaged. I am Sao. Because of the completion of the task, he stayed a little longer this time, but he didn't expect that the world shook for a while, and when he stood still, the entrance was already in front of him. As soon as he turned his head, he saw Jong Tien, whose face was flushed from suffocation. "This kid, did you eat gunpowder?" Lu Nan muttered. Seeing that no one was paying attention to him, he patted his ass and ran back. "If you have a chance, you need to find a transport mount." Lu Nan raised his head and saw a huge griffin flying by, feeling a little envious in his heart. The lowest level of griffin is the 3rd rank, and the boss of level 150 is no problem. If you have this thing, it will be much easier to travel. Anyone who can ride a griffin is definitely a character. I don't know what they are doing here. After taking a second glance, Lu Nan looked away, and not long after, he arrived at the job transfer temple. "Hi, I'm here to hand in the job change task." It was the same female staff member from last time. Hearing the voice, she subconsciously said, "The left." It's actually you. Lu Nan's handsome face is really recognizable. "Have you been recognized? This good looks." Lu Nan sighed secretly. Completed the task so quickly. The female staff looked shocked. You know, the difficulty of the task that Lu Nan took is 9 stars. Lu Nan said noncommittally. "Arrange it for me." Okay. The female staff blushed and hurriedly arranged for Lu Nan. After a while, Lu Nan stood in the temple of the one who received the task again. When he looked up, he seemed to be able to see something peeping above his head. Why is this job-changing temple a bit weird? Mission completed. Congratulations on your promotion. From now on, you will be a real professional. Congratulations on completing the 9-star mission. The completion rate is 100%. You get an extra 100 attribute points. You get the Devil's Card, Legendary. Your level has increased. Your level has increased. 2 streaks of white light appeared in succession. After brushing several copies and accumulating some experience, I was just able to upgrade to level 2. The higher the level is, the more difficult it is to upgrade. Although it only takes 1 day for him to upgrade from level 1 to level 50, but for ordinary professionals, it is thankful that he can step into 1 revolution within a month. It's more reliable to hide the copy. Lu Nan planned to sell the money later, and then continue to refresh the copy. Ah Chu. At the novice dungeon, looking at Jong Tien who was surrounded by the crowd not far away, the young man in charge of registration suddenly felt his nose itch. Crap. No matter who made it, it's best not to come. The boss is happy to discover talents. The discovered talents are also happy. It's just the low-level staff like them who are struggling and have to maintain the copy. Don't want to sleep these days. The first turn is the real starting point for a professional. Only at this level can he be called a qualified professional. There have been many changes in the data panel. First of all, the 4-dimensional attribute has been greatly improved, and the life and magic power can be added. The attribute points added by the previous upgrade have all been reset. At this point, if you add more points, it will be difficult to reset. It can be said that the addition of points before the first turn is to enable new professionals to have a clear understanding of the role of the 4-dimensional attributes. After the first turn, they can add points according to their own understanding. Without the slightest hesitation, Lu Nan directly added all attribute points to mana. The mana has risen again. Then there are the task rewards. It turns out that the harder the task, the better the reward is true. Lu Nan's heart brightened. 100 free attribute points, that is equivalent to raising dozens of levels. All added to mana. Lu Nan understood that he was a profession whose combat power exploded with more mana. The ratio of adding points to life is 1:10. The ratio of adding points to mana is 1:5. The ratio of other 4-dimensional attributes is 1:1. Therefore, he added all the attribute points to the mana, which directly increased the mana value by several hundred. After looking at the data, Lu Nan was amazed by himself. Name: Lu Nan. Title: Necromancer. Level: LV 52. HP: 10,656. Mana: 1526. Constitution: 188. Strength: 156. Agility: 155. Stamina: 149. Free attribute points: 0 points. Combat rating: 565 stars. The super gorgeous combat power is enough to shock the world on any first-rank professional. At this moment, Lu Nan also doesn't understand what stage he should position himself at. So, I opened the chat channel and sent a message anonymously. What is the level of 500 plus Star Wars power? The flashing messages in the channel suddenly fell silent. Meet the boss. Meet the boss. Swipe the screen in unison. Lu Nan was stunned. Do you want to be so tidy? Then, the next moment, I saw that the private message column next to it changed from green to full red in an instant. Open it up. 5-star boss, I am your long-lost son. So, can you take me to a higher level? Boss, do you still need a bed warmer? I'm 36. Hiss. What kind of person, who speaks so unclearly, must be criticized? Lu Nan replied to that 36 justly. Then clear all. Immediately afterwards, a red gold card appeared in his hand. One side is a grid, and the other side is a picture of a devil. When Lu Nan looked at the side of the devil, he seemed to be able to see the figure of the devil gradually becoming clearer. You are cursed by the devil, and your strength drops by 1 point every second. The duration is 10 seconds. You are cursed by the devil, and your stamina will drop by 1 point every second for 10 seconds. The 4-dimensional attributes fell into a negative state at the same time at this moment. Is this thing so evil? Lu Nan was about to throw it away when a reminder sounded. The devil's door is open, are you ready to play a game with the devil? Warning. The devil of the abyss, the cunning who walks in the dark, maybe, you should stop. Hint. There are many precious treasures hidden in the devil's card. Perhaps, you can open an eternal artifact. Warning. Greed will bring you down, and the language of the devil is a rope to hell. Hint. Lu Nan was a little shocked by the crazy information. This situation is really rare. Like a schizophrenic talking. At this time, Lu Nan suddenly saw a card that was exactly the same as the card in his hand appearing in front of him. The background is dark. A delicate and white jade hand suddenly stretched out from inside and grabbed the card. Then, the card was slowly turned over, revealing the front face, but at this moment, it was no longer a portrait of a devil, but an item. Lena's Ragdoll Epic Substitute Death. Times 1/3. Another card jumped out of the darkness, flipped the front side, revealing the information of the item. The Immortal Sword Legend. Life plus 5W, Constitution plus 500, Stamina plus 300. Skills. Wrath of the King, Sky Crash, Gravity Barrier. It's not over yet. Cards appeared out of nowhere and turned over. The items shown above, at their worst, are all at the master level. Item class. Dark Iron, Silver, Gold, Baijin, Diamond, Master, King, Epic, Legend. The worst ones are several times or even dozens of times more precious than the Baijin level suits obtained by climbing the ladder last year. Please choose a card as your prize. The charming voice came from the darkness. More than a dozen cards are all flipped to the back. Draw a card. Lu Nan was speechless. The card game is the most disgusting. In his previous life, he was the black ball in the card draw. Never mind. At least the minimum guarantee for this card is master level. Lu Nan opened one directly. A ray of light passed by. You have obtained an illusory mask. Unreal mask face. Grade. Epic. Skill. Veil of Illusion. Passive. Wearing a mask, you can gain a layer of camouflage. Quote. Durability. 200/200. Lu Nan put it on his face, and an idea popped into his mind. However, the next moment, I got a reminder. Gender doesn't match, you can't pretend. Of course not. Try it again. Then he felt a layer of energy covering his whole body, and reached out to touch it. There seems to be a little difference. There is no mirror here, so Lu Nan can only give up temporarily. As the only skill of epic equipment, if it is used well, it can be called a magic skill. Lu Nan was very satisfied, and was about to leave, but saw that the card that was turned over had changed again. It divided more than 10 pieces again, and the items are more precious than before. Please turn over a card and choose your prize. Besides, Lu Nan's eyes lit up, and he clicked on one of them again. Then, the next moment, suddenly, a strong pulling force pulled him in instantly. You have entered the mysterious space, you are affected by the environment, and the 4-dimensional attribute is reduced by 50%. You are affected by the environment, and your life drops sharply. Depend on. A little greedy. Seeing the darkness around him, Lu Nan was taken aback. Being extremely insecure, he subconsciously cast a skeleton call. Yellow skin, cluck. A sweet laugh came from the front. Soon, Lu Nan saw a very alluring figure approaching. In front of her is a peerless beauty, but behind her is the hideous appearance of a monster, which makes people feel very uncomfortable. Look, what did I catch? Where's a young yellow-skinned man? Now, let me take a good look at it. The devil's eyes radiated green light, and he saw Lu Nan cast the summoning spell at a glance. You're still a necromancer, unfortunately, your little spell can't scare the great Zit. Big. The devil Zit didn't finish speaking, and suddenly jumped up. No, this is not in line with common sense. He is just a little guy with a turn, it is impossible to have so many. I saw Lu Nan immersed himself in casting summoning spells continuously. Huge spiritual formations appeared one after another, and skeleton warriors crawled out of them. In an instant, the vast field of vision was already filled with a dense army of skeletons. 218. When the first skeleton warrior attacked Devil Zet, Lu Nan also got the other party's information. Devil Zitter. Level. 250. HP. 500,000. Mana. 30,000. Constitution. 678. Strength. 623. Agility. 790. Stamina. 599. Combat rating. 488 stars. Skills. Bewitching Heart, Sweet Words, Devil's Claws. Lu Nan was slightly startled. No wonder I was so easy to say, it turned out that many skills of this guy have their own bewitching. Be careful next time you encounter something like this with a warning. Lu Nan secretly thought. In the face of a powerful monster, he didn't have the slightest intention to hold back his hands, fearing that the opponent's big move would kill his skeleton warrior in seconds. In just half a minute, Lu Nan released at least 50 waves of skeleton fighters. Take a sneak peek. I was taken aback again. It was like a black shadow, constantly impacting among a large number of skeleton warriors, and every time, dozens of skeleton warriors were bound to be taken away. No skeleton warrior is its single enemy. It caused over 10,000 damage in one go. Fortunately, the densely packed skeleton warriors completely blocked the space where the devil Zit could roam, otherwise, it would be really difficult to deal with. No, hurry up. Lu Nan wiped off his sweat and worked hard. 100,000. Million. In the blink of an eye, an army of millions of skeletons was released. Looking around, there are all skeletons holding bone swords. Spectacular. Lu Nan sighed. Only when you really stand in this level of quantity, can you understand what a concept of a million is. That really is, skeleton ocean. Devil Zet's blood volume dropped rapidly. In just 1 minute, the blood volume dropped by more than half. Suddenly, it let out a sharp cry, and its figure seemed to turn into a shadow, killing towards Lu Nan. I still have a little brain. Lu Nan saw that the Devil Zite was planning to capture the thief first, so he smiled and directly used the illusory mask he had just obtained. The next moment, he turned into a strong skeleton warrior and disappeared into the sea of skeletons. The devil, who realized this, immediately collapsed. No, that's mine. The devil's favorite tactic is to use good things to lure simple lambs into traps. Restricted by the rules, real things must be put in for the first time, and the better the things, the more things you can do. Therefore, Devil Zet took out one of the few good things in his body. That was his favorite toy. Thinking about cheating people over and then getting the things back. However, at this moment, what originally belonged to him has become a sharp weapon of the enemy. Lu Nan peeked at the distraught devils that secretly through the gap between the skeleton warriors. No, you can't do this. I just invite you to come over as a guest. Stop, I have something good. Ouch. Hundreds of bone swords pierced Zit's body. Injuries hard to discern with the naked eye kept jumping up. Although the damage of each skeleton warrior is not high, the number is really too much. Every second, hundreds of damage jumps. Seeing that there was no sign of Lu Nan in the ocean of skeletons, Zit the devil was completely desperate, and his voice became very spiteful. Yellow-skinned monkey, you will pay the price for your cunning behavior, I swear to Devil Satan. Boom. Before he died, the figure of Devil Zit suddenly swelled up and turned into a devil bomb, and a terrible roar sounded. The skeleton warriors hundreds of meters away from Fang Yuan were violently thrown away. Tens of thousands of blood were emptied in an instant. Fortunately ran far. Lu Nan, who was among the skeletons, looked at his scalp numb. The devil bomb is the ultimate move of Devil Zite, and at least thousands of skeleton warriors were taken away in one wave. Sure enough, it's still a little dangerous to challenge something by leapfrogging. You killed the Devil Zit clone and gained experience plus 1 million. Your level has increased. Doppelganger. Lu Nan was taken aback. He didn't dare to stay. He put away the light spots that fell on the ground and walked towards the vortex that just appeared. For a while, everything was going away. In a blink of an eye, he returned to the job-changing temple. At this time, he was in the mood to check the harvest this time. After one turn, the experience required for leveling up has increased a lot, and 1 million experience is just for him to be promoted by 3 levels, which happens to be level 55. In addition, Devil Zet dropped several light clusters. When I took it out, I was overjoyed. One of them is Gina's ragdoll epic that he misses so much. This kind of item that can give him an extra life can be said to be of extraordinary value. Lu Nan quickly put it away. There is still one. Appraisal scroll epic. Use it on epic and equipment below epic to discover its hidden attributes. Also a good thing. How can it be bad to bear the title of epic? This thing, the more precious it is, the higher its value. It's the most cost-effective when used on epic equipment. Lu Nan was about to put it away and use it later, but suddenly thought of something, and took out a piece of equipment from the space backpack. Scythe of the Dead weapon. Grade. Baijin. All attribute increase plus 5%. Skill. Greed of the Dead passive. Life that dies under the king's scythe will be absorbed by it, a total of 10 layers. 1. Increase life. 0.50 thousandths. 2. Equipment requirements. 1 turn. Reference mark. The dead yearn for life, it is always waiting for the opportunity. This is one of the few non-staff equipment he can afford. The attributes of the sickle of the dead are really good. Lu Nan also saw a legendary weapon just now, and the bonus attributes are very powerful, but if he had to choose, he would definitely choose the Scythe of the Dead. Moreover, this weapon actually has a second attribute that hasn't been unsealed. However, Baijin grade weapons seem a bit low. At this time, Lu Nan also hesitated. Forget it. Isn't it just an epic appraisal scroll? In the future, when the strength is strong, it may not be impossible to get it. Lu Nan took out the scroll and slapped the Scythe of the Dead. Using the appraisal scroll on the Scythe of the Dead weapon, do you want to continue? Continue. A mass of colored light burst out suddenly. After a while, the light disappeared, and the Scythe of the Dead didn't seem to change at all. Lu Nan thought that the identification had failed, but who knew that when he picked it up, his eyes widened. Worth it. It's all worth it. The attributes of Deadman's Scythe have changed dramatically. Scythe of the Dead weapon. Grade. Diamond. All attribute increase plus 10%. Skill. Greed of the Dead passive. The life that dies under the king's scythe will be absorbed by it for life and mana. 1. Increase life. 0.50 thousandths. 2. Increase mana. 0.5 thousandths. Equipment requirements. 1 turn. Reference mark. The dead yearn for life, it is always waiting for the opportunity. After the appraisal, the grade of the Deadman's Scythe was actually raised by 1 level, reaching the diamond level. The most important thing is that the second attribute is mana drain. For him, the value of this piece of equipment is completely a small artifact. It won't be long before my life and mana will have a qualitative improvement. When he reached level 55, his mana didn't exceed 2000, so he could fight the devil at the 5th turn, and if he increased his mana by 5000, he really didn't know how strong he was. Moreover, as the level of the summoning spell increases, the strength will increase exponentially. This time, it's really a natural disaster for walking. Whether it's the protagonist or himself, Lu Nan also has an indescribable feeling. Too fast. In just 1 day, he has reached a level that others cannot achieve in a lifetime. Size or size, what should be improved still needs to be improved. Lu Nan directly replaced the weapon and equipped it with the Scythe of the Dead. Immediately, the combat power increased by another section. Not much. The main reason is to increase the mana increase with the greatest strength, which is still in the state of 0.5 thousandths. Learn the skills first. After 1 turn, a skill grid was opened. Lu Nan hesitated between the Undead Swamp and the Knight's Funeral, and then decisively chose the Knight's Funeral. As a first-turn skill, the undead creatures summoned by the Knight's Funeral are much stronger than the skeleton warriors. You learned the skill Knight Funeral. Knight's Funeral. Consume a certain amount of mana to summon a skeleton knight. Note: 1 turn advanced skill. Complete a 9-star mission and let Lu Nan get fat directly. In the future, we must continue to carry forward. Simple task. Don't bother to pick it up. That devil is in a clone state, so it doesn't drop many things, which is normal. Lu Nan felt a little regretful when he heard the encounter in the mysterious space. Although the process seemed very thrilling, and it would be over for any first-time professional, but from the beginning to the end, he didn't seem to panic much. Now his mana can summon nearly 2 million 1-turn skeleton warriors. As long as it is not those big bosses who are 6 or 7 turns, it is really not timid at all. Let's deal with the equipment first. Lu Nan walked out, and at a glance, he saw the beautiful woman in the job-changing temple staring into it from time to time. Seeing Lu Nan coming out, her eyes lit up and she walked over. This handsome guy, can you add me as a friend? No thank you. Lu Nan glanced at each other. The appearance is good, but unfortunately, it is a front airport. The beauty didn't expect that she would refuse. You know, only others ask her for her contact information. This time she asked for her contact information for the first time, but she was met with Waterloo. Seeing Lu Nan leaving in a hurry, she snorted, "Isn't it just a pretty face? It can't be eaten." Then I thought, if Lu Nan really agreed to her request just now, would he really support him in the future? That depends on how good his skills are. The beauty raised her head arrogantly. That guy is probably playing hard to get. Pretend to have completed the 9-star mission to attract my attention. Thinking gradually diverged. At this moment, she seemed to be the protagonist in a fairy tale. The more she thought about it, the more curious she became. After a while, she moved to the staff system interface and found Lu Nan's information. When she saw the record above, she was stunned. It's really done. My God, that's a 9-star mission. Just when she was in a state of trance, 2 women walked in from the door. One is plump and wearing a red robe, like a flame. The other person was filled with an icy chill, but it was Ginu Nianzhu. Xiaoshui, when you accept the mission, take off the suit, so that the combat power will be lower, and the possibility of receiving difficult missions will be smaller. You don't have to worry too much, there is a union, as long as it is not a 9-star task, there is no difficulty. Li Yan said while walking. As a member of the 9th level trade union Phoenix 9 Heavens, he still has some confidence. Sister Li Yan, is it really meaningless to complete the difficult job transfer task? Ginu Nianzhu asked. Of course not, but it's not worth it. The higher the difficulty of the task, the better the reward. However, the price of completing the task is too high. If you are unlucky, you will not even have the chance to complete it. There are many precedents in the past. Some geniuses are pretentious, do not listen to advice, and blindly pursue the 9-star job transfer task, and in the end, they never advance to a job transfer in their entire lives. Li Yan said. A few years ago, there was a hidden job. Originally, our major trade unions were very optimistic about him and were ready to contact him. Unexpectedly, he received the task in advance. Do you know what it is? What mission? Ginu Nianzhu was very curious. Look for the mark of the brave. The mark of the brave. Yeah, the mark of the brave. I hadn't heard of it before. Until that time, I didn't know that there is such a mission. That guy has an SS-level hidden profession, and he thought he could solve it. Unexpectedly, there is no way. Quote. Ginu Nianzhu was shocked by the other party's message. She is just an S-level hidden profession, and the other party is 1 level higher than her. You must know that the professional class is not the level of the first rank and the second rank, it is really the first rank and the first heaven. Even such a strong person can't complete it. Didn't you say that there is a reminder for the job transfer task? It's true to have hints, but sometimes you can't do it according to the hints. For example, there is a task that reminds you that you can upgrade to level 50 within a day, can you do it? Ginu Nianzhu shook her head. If it weren't for the help of family and trade union, it would be impossible to raise 50 in 1 day. Then won't the trade union intervene? I have already intervened, and the major trade unions have used the best equipment and various means to increase buff. Unfortunately, there is still no way. The strength of the means to increase the strength of 1 turn is not much stronger. So, in the end, I can only give up. Ginu Nianzhu suddenly felt a little apprehensive. Li Yan smiled and said, you really don't have to be nervous. Job transfer tasks are good immediately, but they are done according to your strength. If you have a 1-star strength, no matter what, it is impossible to receive an 8-star and 9-star transfer duty. This is the rule of the job-changing temple, and even the gods cannot change it. Ginu Nianzhu breathed a sigh of relief. 9-star mission is too scary, and I don't know what kind of professional can complete it. Li Yan was about to say something when suddenly, she heard an uncontrollable exclamation from the side. This is really done. This is 9 stars. Li Yan's heart skipped a beat, and she walked over. What star? 9 stars. 9 what? 9-star job transfer mission. If the young lady of the job transfer temple hadn't seen the badge printed on Li Yan's robe, she would definitely go crazy. Show me. Not long after, Li Yan stood in front of the system panel of the career transfer temple. After seeing the above information clearly, Lu Mei immediately raised her eyebrows. It's really 9 stars. Behind him, Ginu Nianzhu said in shock. Yin Hong's small mouth opened wide. Just heard the secret about the 9-star mission from Li Yan, a top trade union master, and immediately came a real case. She was a little skeptical if the 9-star mission was really that difficult. Don't be fooled by false appearances. I haven't finished what I said just now. 9-star missions are difficult. There is no doubt about it, but not all 9-star missions are impossible. Li Yan said with a look that I understood. It's not that there have been cases in the past, and there are even some very ordinary professionals who can complete them, because there are some 9-star tasks, and it depends on luck. Of course, no matter what it is, there must be certain conditions. This man named Lu Nan should have power in his family, right? Lu Nan. Ginu Nianzhu nodded while listening. At first, I thought it made sense, but at the end, I was stunned again. Li Yan noticed her expression, and said a little proudly, "Look, I guessed right. Although your Ginu family is not as good as the top, it is more than the bottom. Judging by your expression, you must recognize this guy. Tell me, where is he holy?" Sister Li Yan. Is it difficult? Don't worry, I'm just a little interested in how he completes the 9-star mission. I want to ask him personally. I won't eat him. When Ginu Nianzhu saw her holding the wisdom pearl, it was really hard for her to say it. Okay. Next time I have a chance, I'll take a look at this interesting little guy. Now let's take the job transfer task first. I hope it won't be too difficult. At this time, Li Yan suddenly opened the data panel. Hiss, then he sucked in a breath of cold air, and stood up abruptly. What's wrong, Miss Li Yan? Li Yan was a little excited. Xiaoshui, you guys in Linshan City are really outstanding. Ginu Nianzhu's face was bewildered, and there was a look of bewilderment in her eyes. Outstanding people. Amount. Apart from their Ginu family, the strongest is the third-rank principal Lu Binian. Is this considered outstanding, or is Sister Li Yan praising me in disguise? Unexpectedly, Li Yan continued. I just got the news that a new professional destroyed several copies of Linshan City. This is a talent. Ginu Nianzhu was stunned again. Could it be people from other places passing by? It's not like this hasn't happened before. Of course not. Jong Tien, do you know him? He is from the same school as you, and he just changed jobs this year. Jong Tien. Ginu Nianzhu found that her mind had completely shut down today. First Lu Nan, then Jong Tien. Okay, you go to change your job first. It's getting dark today. After you accept the task, we will go to the wild bear forest to level up tomorrow. In a few days, we will be climbing the ladder, and I hope you can get one by then. Good results. Li Yan thought that Ginu Nianzhu had been hit, and comforted her. When Ginu Nianzhu went in to receive the job transfer task, Li Yan couldn't sit still. Now that Jong Tien has not officially joined the Longtang Union, they still have a chance. As for Lu Nan, who completed the 9-star mission, she has already been thrown aside. Necromancer. It's so ordinary. Boss. Business is coming. Lu Nan went directly to Chang'an Trading House. Hiss. My brother's nose is really sharp. The fat boss laughed. As soon as Lu Nan heard it, he knew the goods had arrived. But, brother, can you eat it? The fat boss asked with some concern. If it weren't for Lu Nan's continuous purchase of undead skills in large quantities, he really wouldn't dare to buy so many skill books at once. You must know that the market for this type of skill books has not been good, and there is a serious backlog in other cities. Look at this thing. Lu Nan didn't talk nonsense, and took out a set of equipment. Hiss, goblin suit. This is a rare commodity. However, it's not enough. Now it was Lu Nan's turn that his eyes lit up. The market for goblin suits is much better than the suits sold before, and the value is definitely more than 1 million. Millions of alliance coins are not enough, which proves that the fat boss is definitely a big spender this time. Look again. Lu Nan was very satisfied and released all the equipment. Flame suit. Goblin set. As he took out the equipment piece by piece, the fat boss was already stunned. Look, how much is it? I'll count it for you. The fat boss's tone became a lot more serious. After a while, he breathed a sigh of relief and said, the total is 5.94 million alliance coins, and I will make up an integer of 6 million for you. Thank you. Soon, Lu Nan got a batch of skill books from the fat boss. 2,000 copies of Skeleton Summoning, 1,000 copies of Night Funeral, and 1,000 copies of Undead Swamp. The quantity is exactly an integer. The value has exceeded 6 million alliance coins, but to Lu Nan's surprise, the fat boss is willing to pay on credit. As expected of a businessman. Old Sao, why did you give that man credit? On the other side, just after Lu Nan left for a while, a shopkeeper approached the fat boss. Lao Sao stared and said, "What do you know? This is called investment." Investment, if you did this before yesterday, I can understand. But today, that guy has awakened a necromancer. I don't know if he can reach rank 3 in this life. 3 turns is a hurdle. Many ordinary professionals are easily stuck on the 3rd turn. You know what a fart. Lao Sao was a little irritable and authentic. When the person walked away, a trace of sadness could not help but flash across his face. Although according to my own analysis, Lu Nan is probably not as simple as the surface information, but a few million alliance coins is still a big investment. It's crazy. That kid can come up with a set of novice dungeon suits, but this time he can come up with 5 sets, there must be something wrong. Lao Sao knew that not long ago, the secret realm of the novice dungeon collapsed. Lu Nan went home, locked the door, and then uttered a jerky spell. Knights who have fallen into the world of the dead, follow my call and come out. A gust of cold wind emerged from the room, and then, a mysterious magic circle appeared vertically above the ground. A tall figure stepped out of it step by step. Chapter 21. 1 turn advanced skill Night Funeral. The whole body is black full body armor, the bones inside can only be seen through the mask, and the dark blue undead fire burning in the eyes. Too handsome. Lu Nan looked at the skeleton knight in front of him with satisfaction. Whether you are strong or not is only temporary, but your appearance is eternal. Under the body of the skeleton knight was an undead bone horse in armor, with blue fire in his eyes. Skeleton knight. HP. 15,000. Mana. Na. Constitution. 125. Strength. 125. Agility. 115. Stamina. 130. Combat rating. 80 stars. The initial quality of a skeleton knight is black iron level, and it is much stronger than a skeleton warrior who has advanced once. It seems that the stronger the initial level of the skill, the higher the growth rate will be. However, the advantages of skeleton warriors are also very obvious. That is the skeleton summoning skill book, which is easier to buy than the night funeral skill book. Therefore, the skeleton summoning skill is still worth cultivating. Withdrawing the spell, Lu Nan took out the skill book he had prepared. Stack the skeleton call first. A skill book was directly photographed. You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, but the skill has been upgraded to the current limit, and the skill level remains unchanged. Ding. You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and your skills have been improved. Ding. You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and your skills have been improved. This time, I learned 100 books at once. After a while, the skeleton summoning reached level 2000. But to Lu Nan's surprise, there was no advanced information this time. So keep stacking. Ding. You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and your skills have been improved. Ding. You have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and your skills have been improved. Soon, skills will break through level 3000. Skill progress meets the conditions, successfully advanced. Lu Nan looked at the data panel. Skeleton summoning, level 3001, consume 1 point of mana to summon 3001 units of skeleton warriors, silver, with a cooling time of 1 second. Now who dares to say that he is not a natural disaster, who is he in a hurry with? Summoning 3000 silver level skeleton warriors in 1 second, it's crazy to think about it. Moreover, after the general skill level and power are improved, the mana consumption and cooling time will increase accordingly, but for Lu Nan, it is directly reduced to the mandatory 1 unit. If it weren't for the rules, it is estimated that it can reach a few digits after the decimal point. It's just inhumane, and this is not his limit. Lu Nan pulled out another pile of skill books. Would you like to study night funerals? Study. You have learned the skill Knight's Funeral, the skill has improved. The current skill is level 1. Even the message prompts have changed. Keep going. You have learned the skill Night Funeral, the skill has improved. The current skill is level 2. You have learned the skill Night Funeral, the skill has improved. The current skill is level 3. The skill suddenly reached the level limit of 1 turn. Lu Nan didn't even blink, and continued to take out his skills and shoot it up. Moments later, you have learned the skill Night Funeral. The skill has improved. The current skill level is 1040. Skill progress meets the conditions, successfully advanced. Night Funeral level 1040 consume 1 mana, summon 1040 units of Skeleton Knights, silver cooldown time 1 second. Undead Swamp is temporarily left because there is no free skill bar. Lu Nan looked at the panel, feeling like he was hit by a hammer. Name: Lu Nan. Title: Necromancer. Level: LV 55. HP: 10,656. Mana: 1526. Physique: 206. Strength: 171. Agility: 170. Stamina: 163. Free attribute points: 0 points. Combat rating: 638 stars. Equipment: Deadman's Scythe, Dark Robe, Dark Gauntlet. If people find out, I will definitely cause a sensation with my combat power of more than 600 stars in 1 turn. Lu Nan felt as lonely as snow. My friends, what is the level of 600 plus Star Wars power? He sent a message on the channel. Get lost. Were you fishing last time? It's too much, old 6. It hasn't been too long. If you want to pretend to be a thigh, you have to pay attention to a little logic, right? I only asked what level 500 stars are at noon, and now it's 600 plus. Are you counting? Bah, I'm blind, I'll call him Dad. So enthusiastic upstairs. I'm also a 500 star boss, come and see if it sounds good. Be careful upstairs, your name is not hidden, want to find a fight. Sorry, I was careless, change it now. Obviously, the one who said it was 500 star combat power was not a boss. However, Lu Nan already has a rough judgment. 500 star combat power is really strong, so he must be super strong with 600 plus stars. At least, for ordinary professionals, that's it. Turn off the data panel. This thing has been turned on for a long time. It is easy to hurt the mind, so no one will use this thing for chatting. However, before closing it, he sent a message to his sister-in-law Chen Xiaoke. Sister-in-law, I'm developed. Unfortunately, after waiting for a while, there was no response. Maybe it's something to do. Lu Nan didn't take it to heart either. It's normal for professionals after 1 turn to spend a few days and nights doing tasks. The next day, just before dawn, Lu Nan simply got something to eat and walked out of the house. Have you heard? The Jong family was so lively last night. I heard that 3 of the 9th level guilds came. One of them is riding a griffin, and my eyes panic when I look at it. That's too normal. Griffin is at least a 3rd ranked gold level pet, how can we ordinary people see more? The Jong family is really getting stronger and stronger. I heard that in order to stabilize him, Long Teng's people decided to bring him to upgrade. Where, if it's not the Wild Bear Forest, or it's the Labyrinth Palace? There are only a few suitable leveling areas nearby. The sound of conversations from neighbors in the neighborhood came from my ears. No matter where it is, the fun of grandparents who have nothing to do is always gossip. By the way, when he saw Lu Nan, the sympathy in his eyes became more obvious. This kid from the Lu family is too pitiful. Oh. What the hell, I am a professional no matter what, when is it the turn of ordinary people to sympathize? Lu Nan couldn't laugh or cry. Not long after, he arrived at the gate of Linshan City. Hi, I'm leaving town. The city gates are guarded by guards. After the game came to reality, many monster areas were born in the wild. Ordinary monsters are nothing more than ordinary monsters. If you encounter some monsters without territorial awareness, or special monsters, it may have an impact on the city. Therefore, in every city, there will be a city lord and a city guard who are responsible for the city's security. Are you a graduate of this year's Linshan Middle School? At this moment, one of the guards suddenly frowned. Yes, I'm not talking about you. At this time, you should refresh your hand copy instead of coming here. The guard said a little displeased. For some newcomers who don't know the heights of the sky and the earth, they don't have much affection, because every time something happens, they have to make a trip. Ahem, I've already been there. Lu Nan said. If it wasn't for the lack of experience in the novice dungeon, it could be done repeatedly. As for paying 100,000 alliance coins at a time, it is obviously not within the scope of Lu Nan's consideration. With a power of 600 stars, he has no shortage of small money, but big money. The guard moved away reluctantly, telling Lu Nan to be careful. Don't stay outside for too long, and try to level up as close to the city as possible. The guard was also kind, so Lu Nan smiled and said thank you. It can be seen that these guards are still very dedicated. Not long after leaving the city, I saw some scattered professionals teaming up to hunt monsters. At this point, they were basically professionals who had upgraded to level up. Of course, there are also some who have not reached the first rank, but they have also been promoted to the 20th or 30th level. It is not a problem for the team to pull 1 or 2 monsters from the leveling area to fight. Really diligent. Lu Nan glanced at it and sighed with emotion. Before he had gone far, he suddenly heard a burst of exclamation. Not far away, several teams are cooperating with killing monsters and upgrading. The nearest low-level leveling area is the green grassland, which is covered with lush vegetation, and there are many smaller monsters in it. Like bucktooth rabbits, rattlesnakes, etc. However, don't underestimate these things. As monsters, they are already beyond common sense. They are much larger than before the game came to reality, and ordinary professionals will stumble if they are not careful. At this moment, several teams are working together to pull 2 buck-toothed rabbits that look like big dogs. Trap. Vine technique. Come out, my skeleton warrior. A group of people cast spells in a hurry, some were restricted skills, some were attack skills. After a while, a lot of damage continued to pop out from the bucktooth rabbit's head. It's really dangerous, the bucktooth rabbit almost bit me just now. It's so difficult. If it weren't for Ma Fei's big brother to lead us, we would be really in danger. A girl I eyed, making Ma Fei and the team very happy. He is ugly, and his awakened profession is not a very powerful profession, but who told him to hug Jong Tien's thigh? When everyone else is still in the 5th or 6th grade, he has already passed the 10th grade. In the eyes of the newcomers of Linshan Middle School this year, he is a proper boss, and he is particularly eye-catching. It's just a pity that the dungeon crashed yesterday, otherwise, I could continue to brush. Ma Fei complained a little in his heart, but he also knew that Jong Tien couldn't be blamed, but he always felt a little uncomfortable. Just as he was about to continue attracting monsters, he suddenly saw Lu Nan passing by not far away. Isn't this the S-level genius Lu Nan in our school? He is also a necromancer. Look at the gap between him and Ma Fei's big brother, his face is really blind. The girl who complimented Ma Fei just now mocked. Ma Fei, how do I feel that you are calling me ugly? But there was no evidence, so he walked over and said, Lu Nan, do you want me to take you to upgrade? After all, we are classmates. Seeing Ma Fei's haughty expression, Lu Nan immediately understood what he was thinking. This is showing off. Moreover, if he really joins, maybe he will cause some trouble. Sure enough, Ma Fei pointed his nostrils at Lu Nan, and said, of course, I was brought out by Brother Zhang. If you want me to bring you, when you go back tonight, you have to go to Brother Zhang to apologize, so. Quote. Sick 1. Unexpectedly, Lu Nan didn't have the intention to stop at all, and walked over directly, entering the Qingqing grassland leveling area. Ma Fei's face turned red, and he wanted to chase after him, but he saw a buck-toothed rabbit in the grass not far away, heard the movement, ran towards Lu Nan, stopped immediately, and thought to himself, I really don't know what to do. Would you like to save him later? I was struggling in my heart, when suddenly, I saw a scythe flashing past. Is there no movement? After waiting for a long time, Ma Fei didn't wait for the imaginary situation, except for the shadow that looked like a sickle passing by just now, he was completely calm. This Lu Nan really doesn't know what's good and what's wrong. He doesn't listen to advice. He will feel better later. At this time, other people also came over, looked at the direction where Lu Nan disappeared, and pointed. Ma Fei was a little puzzled, but after thinking about it, he felt normal. Lu Nan is not an idiot. He must have some confidence to go into the leveling area alone. It is estimated that he got some support from his sister-in-law. But even so what? He will feel better later. Ma Fei said. There are not only ordinary buck-toothed rabbits in the Qingqing grassland, but also some first-rank monsters. If you are unlucky, you may even encounter second-rank monsters. Lu Nan didn't know about Ma Fei's brainstorming. At this moment, looking at the scythe of the dead in his hand, he looked satisfied. Just now, he subconsciously wanted to summon the skeleton, but on second thought, he wanted to see the effect of the passive skill greedy drain of the scythe of the dead, so he directly slashed at the bucktooth rabbit with the scythe of the dead. Even if he didn't use his skills, he was a real turn. His attributes were much stronger than the buck-toothed rabbit, and he directly hit a damage of more than 300, killing the buck-toothed rabbit in an instant. The life drain and mana drain on Deadman's scythe suddenly changed. Life absorption 0.1 50,000. Mana drain 0.01 5,000. For ordinary professionals, it is not an easy task to fill up these two skills by killing monsters. Lu Nan secretly thought. However, for him, none of these matters. Knights who have fallen into the world of the dead, follow my call and come out. One after another figures walked out of the huge magic circle. Skeleton Knight. HP 30,000. Mana. Na. Constitution 175. Strength 175. Agility 165. Stamina 180. Combat rating 135 stars. This is the data of the skeleton fighters after being promoted to the second rank of silver, and in the second rank, it is also so-so, but at this moment, there are a total of 1040. The surrounding grass was suddenly crowded, and several buck-toothed rabbits who wanted to attack Lu Nan were mercilessly beheaded before they even got close. You killed the bucktooth rabbit normal experience +1. You killed the bucktooth rabbit normal experience +1. Lu Nan didn't take it seriously, and walked deep into the grassland under the protection of more than 1,000 skeleton knights. This time, his goal was not the green grassland, but the wild bear forest deeper in. Wild bear forest is a leveling area for the second to third ranks, and the monster level is between 100 and 150. However, this is not absolute. The more advanced the leveling area, there may be monsters that exceed the leveling area. Therefore, many professionals will automatically drop a level when they are leveling. The second and third ranks are the leveling areas of the first and second ranks. Although the experience will be a little less, it is better to be safe. Lu Nan didn't want to attract too much attention, so he went directly to the wild bear forest. Under the protection of the skeleton knight, he quickly passed through the green grassland and entered the wild bear forest. It was a dense forest, the ground was full of dead branches and fallen leaves, and the roar of a mad bear could be heard from time to time. Lu Nan asked hundreds of skeleton knights to protect him, and then continued to perform night funerals. Skeleton knights walked towards the depths of the wild bear forest amidst a strong breath of death. Soon, he came into contact with the monsters in the wild bear forest. Next moment, you killed the mad bear, experience +1000. You killed the mad bear, experience +1000. You killed a raging black bear, experience +5000. Skeleton knights are stronger than skeleton warriors, and have another advantage, that is, they move fast. Soon, the vast wild bear forest is occupied by skeleton knights. They are present in every inch of the earth. In order to diversify his skeleton army, Lu Nan began to switch to skeleton summoning when half of his mana was left. Every second, 3,000 silver-level skeleton warriors walked out of the magic circle. I saw that they had grown from an average of 1.8 meters to 1.9 meters. Their bones were thick, which was obviously different from ordinary skeletons. The bone sword in their hands was stronger and tougher, and the soul fire in their skulls was like a raging flame. It's not a normal skeleton warrior at first glance. 100,000. Million. The mighty undead creatures followed Lu Nan's instructions and rushed forward. Wherever he went, corpses littered the field. On Lu Nan's data panel, a lot of information kept skipping. Soon, the astonishing killing caught the attention of the wild bear Lin Shangwang. It was a huge black bear, like a mountain of meat. It sensed an abnormality in its territory and woke up from a deep sleep. You caused a lot of kills in a short period of time, alarming the sleeping bear king. Ding! You killed the bear king, experience +500,000. Your level has increased. Not long after, Lu Nan received a drop from the bear king. The power of the bear weapon. Grade: Gold. Life +500, stamina plus 4-5, stamina plus 30. Skill, Berserk. Mad Bear Armor Clothes. Grade, Silver. Life plus 350, stamina plus 18 inches. Lu Nan put the things away. The drop in the field upgrade area is even less than that of the novice dungeon. In this time, at least thousands of monsters have been killed, but there are very few drops. Of course, the base number is large, and the drop is still very impressive. Lu Nan roughly estimated that in the past 10 minutes, his income has reached at least 1 million. Moreover, the Scythe of the Dead that caught his attention the most had also undergone significant changes. Life Drain, 568 50 thousandths. Mana Drain, 455 thousandths. The absorption speed is much faster than imagined. Lu Nan did some research and found that the growth rate brought by each monster's death is different. The stronger the monster, the higher the growth rate. Should fill up today. After realizing that there were no more monsters in the wild bear forest, he decided to go deeper into the leveling area. Now, his mana has officially exceeded 2,000, and even if all of it is used to summon the Skeleton Knight, he can summon 2 million giants. The general leveling area is no longer a burden for him. The next leveling area should be the place where the generals will wail. The Howling Land is basically a restricted area for professionals in Linshan City, filled with many monsters with rank 3 or above. Occasionally, some third-rank professionals go to kill monsters, but the frequency is too small, probably once or twice a year. However, the Labyrinth Palace cannot be let go. If you want the Scythe of the Dead to enter the full body, you must hunt and kill monsters. The Labyrinth Palace is about the same level as the Wild Bear Forest, so it is also a good choice. Therefore, Lu Nan directly sent a small number of skeleton warriors to the nearby Lost Palace to hunt and kill monsters, while he took a huge undead creature and headed for the Wailing Land. At the same time, several people came out of Linshan City. Shaoshan, at your current level, it is more appropriate to go to the Wild Bear Forest leveling area, but you will stand behind me later, don't leave half a step away, you know. He Gao looked at Jong Tien. Okay. Jong Tien nodded hastily, feeling a little complacent in his heart. People from the 3 top guilds came to rob him last night. In order to stabilize him, He Gao changed his previous conservative observation and decided to take him to level up. Brother Zhang, Ma Fei, who was leveling, saw Jong Tien from afar and shouted in surprise. Jong Tien nodded lightly, and said, "The trade union took me to the wild bear forest to practice leveling. I can't take you. Let's talk about it later." Hiss, did you actually go to the wild bear forest? As expected of the Longtang Guild, this skill is really powerful. If only I could be favored by the Longtang Union. Don't think about it, do you think you have the ability of Brother Zhang? If you have the ability, you can go to those new dungeons. Hearing the compliments from the students around him, Jong Tien raised his head slightly, and followed He Gao towards the inside. Soon, however, they realized something was amiss. There seemed to be too many monsters today. After walking for a while, 2 buck-toothed rabbits rushed over. If the 2 of them could distinguish the facial expressions of the monster, they would definitely see that the 2 buck-toothed rabbits were behaving abnormally. It seems a little flustered. Fly, Fire Dragon. A fire dragon was summoned by He Gao and instantly killed the 2 buck-toothed rabbits. It should be something disturbing ahead, don't worry. He Gao is a 4-turn fire method, and there is no pressure at all in this low-level leveling area. Soon, both of them crossed the green grassland. The wild bear forest is ahead. You stand behind me. He Gao plans to come to a big one, let Jong Tien see his own strength. The monsters in the Qingqing grassland leveling area are still too weak, but the monsters in the wild bear forest are just right. Unexpectedly, as soon as I walked in, I was shocked. I saw more than a dozen tall skeleton warriors carrying bone swords to clean up the battlefield. On the ground lay the dead body of a mad bear. The more powerful the monster, the longer it survives after death. Skeleton warrior. At this time, Zhang Tianyu saw this scene and said in shock, "How can there be such a tall skeleton warrior?" It's normal. The Necromancer also has some hidden professions, and they can also summon skeleton warriors. However, their skeleton warriors are much stronger than those of necromancers. There are more than 10 skeleton warriors in this team, and it seems to be a high-level undead hidden profession. Then what to do? Seeing the menacing aura of the skeleton warrior, Jong Tien was very envious. Let's change places. The undead department has always been famous for summoning. Since he occupies this place, let's not conflict with him. He Gao thought for a while and said. The two changed places again, but in a blink of an eye, they saw another team of skeleton warriors. Moreover, there are also two skeleton knights riding bone horses. He Gao's face changed slightly. What's wrong, senior? Hush, keep your voice down. This should be a boss. Do you think this skeleton knight is different from ordinary skeleton knights? He Gao looked more and more frightened. The skeleton knight in sight was much taller than ordinary skeleton knights, riding on a bone horse, nearly 3 meters tall. Let's change places again. Guessing that the ones hunting here might be the masters of the undead department, He Gao lost all confidence in his heart. If it wasn't for him being a member of Long Tang, at this moment, he would definitely turn around and leave without saying a word. You know, this is the second batch of undead summons, hundreds of meters away from the last batch. The two batches add up to at least 1,000. In He Gao's cognition, only masters with rank 5 or 6 can do it. But just as he was about to leave, suddenly, there were a lot of fine footsteps from another direction. Turning his head to look, the next moment, his face changed drastically. Go! He Gao pulled Jong Tien back with a look of fear. It's clear. It's all clear. As he walked, he showed a look of horror. Jong Tien felt his scalp tingle. This is a strong man at level 200 at the 4th turn, and he is a first-class boss in Linshan City. At this moment, he looks terrified. Senior, what happened? Jong Tien asked quickly. Something has happened in the wild bear forest. Those footsteps just now are densely packed skeleton warriors. Looking back, He Gao still felt very scared. His vision was much better than Jong Tien's, so he saw that overwhelming scene, like an army of walking ants. Just a glance, there are at least thousands of them. I have never seen such a large number of skeletons except for the undead curse undead natural disaster. You know, the natural disaster of the undead is a forbidden curse, a terrifying skill that can only be mastered by the legend of the 9th rank. He Gao completely lost his composure. He didn't care about taking Jong Tien to level up. He stepped out of the Qingqing grassland and immediately ran towards the city at a faster speed. Leveling failed again. Looking at He Gao's leaving figure, Jong Tien wanted to cry but had no tears. Brother Jong, why did you come out so soon? Ma Fei ran over in surprise when he saw Jong Tien. None of your business. Jong Tien was not in a good mood, and then felt that this explanation did not fit his current image of a genius, and explained, you guys know what, there is a big shot in the wild bear forest. Big man, well, it may be a professional of the 9-rank legend. Jong Tien's eyes were full of awe and envy. 9th turn professional. Everyone felt their scalps go numb for a while. According to the legend of the 9 revolutions, that is the top powerhouse in the Yan kingdom, a godlike figure, who actually appeared here. Just as they were guessing wildly, suddenly, many people poured out of the city. It's the principal, and the city lord Mo Dao. Hiss, look at the sky. A huge griffin flew out of the city and landed nearby in a blink of an eye. That was another member of the 9th level guild. At this moment, all the powerhouses above rank 3 in Linshan City appeared here. Then, a large number of guards began to drive those levelers back. Is it true? Riding a griffin is a tall and burly man from the top guild wolf pack. I'm not mistaken. This kind of thing is no joke. He Gao said in a deep voice. That's impossible. The wild bear forest is just a low-level leveling area. Why would such a terrifying existence come to such a place? I also find it incredible. You said, could it be another plane? At this time, Li Yan said. Let's go and have a look first. If it's really what He Gao said, then we can't handle this matter. Said Long Yan, the man on the griffin. Everyone quickly reached an agreement and went to the wild bear forest to check. Since He Gaoneng, who was at the 4th rank, walked out unharmed, so naturally they could too. Not long after, several people in full armor appeared at the edge of the wild bear forest. The dead bear has disappeared. The skeleton warrior was also gone. No, I can't be mistaken, He Gao said with confidence. How about I ride a griffin to see the sky? Long Yan said. Then I noticed a strange look looking over. It's Li Yan from Phoenix 9 Heavens. If you were really a 9th level boss, what do you think will happen if you run on top of him? The 5 top trade unions belong to the wolves who have no brains. Li Yan muttered. Ahem. Mo Dao came out to make a rescue, so as not to cause internal strife at this time. It's fine to ride a griffin, we people are not enough for someone else's spell. Just as he was talking, suddenly, He Gao, who was walking in front, took a deep breath. I saw densely packed skeleton warriors in front. Go. Now, the others panicked too. They had never seen such a terrible scene. A few people fled in despair, thinking, while the other party was not paying attention, leave first and then talk. No, this matter is beyond our ability to handle. I will report it to the trade union immediately. And you, it's best to report it too, and ask, is there any big boss from the undead department coming over recently? You said, is there such a possibility that those guys are not some big boss, but come from other planes? You know, plane cracks have appeared frequently recently. If it is true, it will be a big deal. 9-turn bosses won't do anything to us, but monsters from other planes won't. As soon as the words fell, He Gao and the others turned pale. You killed the mad bear, experience plus 1000. You killed the 2-tailed fox, experience plus 2500. You killed the wailing banshee, experience plus 8500. You killed the gargoyle, experience plus 12000. Your level has increased. Your level has increased. Skeleton warriors and knights flooded into the Palace of the Lost in the Wailing Lands. Lost Palace is a ruin. It is said that it was left by a city 100 years ago, but it was later occupied by a large number of monsters and reduced to a leveling area. The level of monsters inside is similar to that of Wild Bear Forest. The Howling Land is more advanced, and it is filled with a large number of dark creatures. The Wailing Banshee is one of them. However, Lu Nan is very interested in these monsters. The main reason is that each of these guys will cause 404 when they are depicted. Absolutely excellent. The faster skeleton knights started the battle first. The banshees rampaged one after another, killing the skeleton knight in front of them. A banshee up to rank 3 can kill a skeleton knight with just a few hits. However, Lu Nan has nothing more than this undead summoned creature. A moment later, the banshee died tragically on the spot amidst howling. This scene happens all the time. 2 million undead creatures were scattered all over the place, covering most of the map. Lu Nan's level is constantly improving. Suddenly, a mournful howl came from a distance. Reminder. You heard a mournful howl from afar. It was a sleeping banshee. She heard the screams of her own kind and decided to take revenge on you. Through the vision of a skeleton knight, Lu Nan saw stones falling down from a mountain. A large number of stone carvings emerged from the mountain. Immediately afterwards, as if he had come alive, he struggled to separate from the mountain and rushed towards the nearest skeleton knight. The sharp claws directly pierced through the skull knight's head, taking away a large amount of explosive injuries. Your summoned skeleton knight is dead. Your summoned skeleton knight is dead. Queen of Banshees. Level 210. Baijin. HP 280,000. Mana 15,000. Constitution 478. Strength 423. Agility 510. Stamina 399. Combat rating 338 stars. Stone Guardian. Level 155 gold. HP 120,000. Mana 5,000. Constitution 268. Strength 282. Agility 300. Stamina 210. Combat rating 230 stars. Finally encountered a little trouble. Lu Nan showed a hint of excitement. This banshee and a group of stone guardian ghosts next to her are all agile and outstanding little elites. Especially the banshee, with a pair of demon wings on her back, which can fly for a short time. If they don't get entangled with my summons and come to me directly, it will be troublesome. Lu Nan was about to put an illusory veil on himself, but he didn't expect to see the banshee's body falling into the skeleton knight before it even started. All right, forgot that the skull knight also has a throwing skill. The moment the banshee flew up, at least thousands of long swords flew from the ground. -1,200. -1,385. -1,800. The poor banshee wailed and was taken away by a wave. The damage overflow is very serious. The other guardian spirits of the stone statues were not much better either, they were pressed down and turned into balls of light within a short distance. You got the Banshee Veil, Baijin. You got the Banshee Staff, Baijin. You have obtained the Crown of Thorns, Baijin. You kill the Banshee Queen and get 400,000 experience. Your level has increased. Your level has increased. Your level has reached the current limit. Please go back to the job-changing temple to change jobs. This level is really unbearable at all. Lu Nan couldn't help but sigh with emotion. In just one day, his experience had reached the limit of level 100, and even a little overflowed. Thinking of how many levels other people are still struggling with at the moment, more than 10 levels, he felt the difference in this world. It was getting late. Lu Nan did not continue leveling. After all, people have to combine work and rest, right? Moreover, the combat power of monsters at night will increase, and the field of vision of professionals will be greatly restricted. Although I am not afraid, there is no need for this. Put away some of the summoned objects, leaving only 1,000 skeleton knights, and walked towards Linshan City. Why are the monsters in Qingqing grassland gone? The monsters in the wild bear forest and wailing land have been wiped out by myself, and it will take at least 10.5 months to slowly recover, but Qingqing grassland does not. But Lu Nan didn't encounter any monsters. Seeing that he was about to walk out of the green grassland, Lu Nan felt that there should be no danger, so he put away all the skeleton knights. Soon, he felt more and more wrong. What about those who are leveling here? Lu Nan couldn't believe that those guys had all left. Although it was evening now, there was still a little time before Li Tian got dark. Besides, in the past, he had heard that there would be some hard-working professionals hunting monsters in the dark every night. The efficiency is a little lower, but it can be upgraded after all. In such an environment where it can take off, it is definitely not normal for this point to be completely withdrawn. Could it be? What happened? Lu Nan walked towards the city with a heavy heart. Stop. Where have you come from, and where are you going? As soon as he approached the city gate, he was stopped. There was something wrong with the other party's tone, and Lu Nan almost released a wave of skeleton knights out of habit. Fortunately, hold back. I just finished leveling. I want to go home. Lu Nan said speechlessly. A group of guards watched him defensively. I need some specific information, said a person who was obviously the commander of the guards. My name is Lu Nan. I graduated from Linshan Middle School this year, and I live here. This battle should be a major event. Lu Nan is not an unreasonable person, so he cooperated very well. Soon, Lu Nan was allowed to enter the city. So it's you. You kid, you've been out here until now and you're fine, you're lucky. A guard suddenly came over, a little surprised. It was the guard I met before going out in the morning. Lu Nan asked, Brother, what happened? Why is the whole city under martial law? I don't know very well, I just heard that there was a big change near Linshan City. The guard said solemnly. Lu Nan was also surprised. Aren't there several members of the top trade union here? It was discovered by those adults. It is said that it has something to do with the crisis of level 9. When the guard said, his body was trembling. Hiss. Lu Nan walked towards the career transfer temple with a serious face. A crisis at the rank 9 level. This is really troublesome. He is not weak now. It is hard to say that he is a rank 6. Professionals or monsters below rank 6 can basically push horizontally. But rank 6 is a hurdle. At this level, it already belongs to the super syllabus content of school learning, so he doesn't know how strong rank 6 is. However, no matter what, there is no chance of winning against the 9 revolutions. 9 rank legend, that is a terrifying existence that can cast forbidden spells. It is said that there was once a 9 rank elemental mage who cast a forbidden spell in a leveling area and directly sank the entire map by hundreds of meters for several years. Time to recover under the rules. However, even if it is recovered, it will be greatly changed. Forbidden spells can completely break the rules. For him now, that is completely unsolvable existence. We can only see how those top guilds deal with it. Lu Nan felt very powerless. I am still too weak. Open the chat channel, all of them are discussing the 9-turn crisis. It's a pity that this chat channel only belongs to the regional channel for the time being, and the professionals who communicate in it all belong to the same region. Hiss, I heard that there is a rank 9 legendary crisis in Linshan City. I don't know if it's true or not. It's true. I'm a professional in Linshan City. Now the whole city is under martial law. This, although I don't know where Linshan City is, but everyone in Frost City mourns silently for everyone in Linshan City. Frost City. Brother, don't worry, I remember that Frost City is near Linshan City, so make sure you don't get affected. No way. Such a coincidence. Are you surprised? Are you surprised? It's just such a coincidence. If it's really a level 9 crisis, the scope of the impact will be huge, let alone Frost City, and it may be affected even further away. Rank 9 legendary boss, is it so unreasonable? I can't. I'm not married yet, and I haven't left a family yet. Silence. Silence. I said, which big boss came here, come out and take a breath. If you have any grudges, we will solve it for you. That's right. You don't need to do it, we will help you. Is it too late to go now? Lu Nan sent an anonymous message. It should be in time. Brother reminded me, I'll go back and clean up. Yes, yes, yes. Sneak first to respect. You guys, don't talk about it here. If you irritate that big brother, I'm sorry for throwing your ashes away. The chat channel was instantly dead silent, completely different from the usual bustling situation. However, at this moment, a faint light suddenly lit up in the channel. A person with 8 stars flashing in his title sent a message. Everyone, please be safe, we will investigate this matter clearly, the level 9 crisis is just speculation. Boom. The regional channel suddenly fell into a bomb like a calm lake. A large number of speeches jumped out. It's the 8-star boss. Meet the boss. Meet the boss. If you don't understand, just ask, does the 8-star mean combat power? A Mengxin waited for a long time, and asked weakly when he saw that the boss with the 8-star title did not come out again. Combat power. That's the national tribute level. Don't look at him as an 8-star level, his strength might be a legend of rank 9. What is a national tribute? It's the national contribution. Every country has a national tribute level. The higher the level, the stronger the national fortune. I never expected to see a big boss with an 8-star national tribute level in my lifetime. Big brother, please bring me. Agreed. National tribute level. Lu Nan shook his head. It is said that that thing can only be accessed at the 6th rank. Let's change jobs first. With this 8-star national tribute boss around, it shouldn't be a big problem. Lu Nan felt more at ease. Soon, Lu Nan came to the career change temple. At this time, the job transfer temple was empty, only a few staff members. Hello, I want to change jobs. Is it a transfer? A female job transfer staff looked at Lu Nan's immature face and said subconsciously. No, it's the second turn. You're so young, you're going to turn 2. It's amazing. The staff looked at Lu Nan in surprise, and couldn't help but smile amiably when facing that handsome face. Sister Liang usually treats people with a straight face. I thought she was not interested in men. It turns out that those men are not handsome enough. Some female staff not far away whispered. Lu Nan coughed. Seeing that Sister Liang had completed the registration, she walked to the entrance on the other side. After a while, she entered the job transfer space. It was still the mysterious and gloomy hall, and there were reliefs all around that were covered by darkness, only the relief in the middle was clearer. At this time, Lu Nan found a black beam of light appeared in front of him. I don't know what it is for. It is detected that the player is about to transfer to the second job, and the job transfer task will be released. Second job transfer task. The end of the boss. Difficulty. 9 stars. Mission description. The king of monsters, the boss with unparalleled talent, is the absolute king of the race. Mission reminder. Kill any diamond level boss. I must cause more than 95% of the damage. Another 9-star mission. Lu Nan was also a little surprised. Although he didn't take off his equipment this time, he was the most difficult 9-star twice in a row. Isn't this too bad luck? Or is it that the career-changing temple is specifically aimed at me? It shouldn't be. The career-changing temple is a miracle product after the game came to reality. He is just a small first-changing professional now, how could he attract the attention of this kind of thing? Maybe it's because I'm too strong. Lu Nan can only comfort himself in this way. I didn't continue to think about it. No matter what, I can't change the fact of the job transfer task. I still think about it now, how to find a diamond level boss. After leaving the job transfer temple, Lu Nan went to Chung'an trading house. As soon as I arrived at the trading house, I saw that the door of the trading house was closed. The fat boss is not there either. He walked to the store next to him and asked the boss, "Boss, do you know where the boss of the trading house has gone?" "Old sow, something happened to the goods under him, and he took people out of the city early in the morning," said the boss. "Do you know what happened?" "Hey, I guess it was swept away by the beast tide." "Didn't there be some small beast tides in Qingqing grassland in the morning?" Originally, those monsters in the leveling area would not go to other places at will, probably because of the super crisis was frightened. However, it's no big deal. In our line of business, what scene haven't you seen? Ignoring the boss's complacency, Lu Nan returned home. Sort out today's harvest. First, the skyrocketing level and the attribute points obtained. A total of 150 free attribute points. Without the slightest hesitation, all of them were added to mana. Immediately, the mana increased by 750 points, plus the mana value that was close to 2000, it was 2005. Then, there's the increase in Deadman's Scythe. Lu Nan looked at the sickle of death equipped. Scythe of the Dead, weapon. Grade, Diamond. All attribute increase plus 10%. Skill, Greed of the Dead passive. The life that dies under the King's Scythe will be absorbed by it for life and mana. 1. Boost life, 35,000 50 thousandths. 2. Increase mana, 3,000 5 thousandths. Equipment requirements, 1 turn. Reference mark. The dead yearn for life, it is always waiting for the opportunity. Neither of the two boosting skills reached perfection. Mainly, the further back this thing is, the more monsters it needs, and the higher the quality requirements. It is estimated that there will be another day or two to kill the monster. Even so, after equipping the Deadman's Scythe, Lu Nan's combat power has also increased to a very terrifying level. Name, Lu Nan. Title, Necromancer. Level, LV 100. HP, 50,000. Mana, 5,500. Constitution, 226. Strength, 181. Agility, 180. Stamina, 173. Free attribute points, 0 points. Combat rating, 725 stars. Equipment, Deadman's Scythe, Dark Robe, Dark Gauntlet. Although it was getting harder and harder to increase his combat power, he still gained close to 100 stars. The thinking attribute is within 1 turn, which is considered medium. Normally, the attribute points gained by a necromancer every time he upgrades to 1 level is relatively low among many combat professions, only 3 points. However, Lu Nan completed a 9-star mission and rewarded him with 100 attribute points. Therefore, his 4-dimensional attribute has only reached medium at this moment. However, if you look at life and mana, it's a bit exaggerated. With a life of up to 50,000, it is already comparable to the blood volume of an elite monster. It is stronger than the 5th rank Devil's It, but it is only 500,000 blood. The same is true for mana. I don't know, how does my data panel compare with other geniuses? There is a lot of equipment today, wait until tomorrow to see if the fat boss has come back, if not, it will be dealt with by other trading houses. Lu Nan looked at the chat interface, and his sister-in-law Chen Xiaoke still didn't reply to his message, so she could only lie down and rest. After a busy day, I'm really tired. And just when Lu Nan left from the career transfer temple, Li Yan brought Ginu Nianzhu to the job transfer temple again. Ginu Nianzhu couldn't help but think of Lu Nan when he thought of the job transfer mission he had accepted, which was actually a 6-star mission to kill a gold elite monster. I don't know how his 9-star mission was completed. The 6-star mission is so difficult, if not for Li Yan's help, she would not be able to kill that elite monster so easily. I don't know, how did he level up, and reach the 1st rank so quickly? Ginu Nianzhu was very curious. Sister Li Yan, can you really not let Lu Nan join Phoenix 9 Heavens? That's definitely not possible, I said Xiaoshui, so don't even think about it. The 9th level guild has limited positions. Even the son of the guild leader can't go in through the back door, let alone you. Your little boyfriend is just an ordinary necromancer, and it is already the limit for him to join a level 5 guild. Li Yan said indifferently, I heard that you seldom communicated with that Lu Nan in school. Why do you care so much about him? Could it be that you are greedy for other people's bodies? Sister Li Yan. Even the iceberg beauty Ginu Nianzhu blushed a lot. Seeing Ginu Nianzhu enter the job transfer space, Li Yan subconsciously went to the job transfer system panel and looked. Huh, another 9-star mission. This Lu Nan's luck is too bad. It seems that the 5th level trade union is difficult. After a while, Ginu Nianzhu walked out of the career transfer temple. Xiaoshui, let's not go. I just saw that your little boyfriend has accepted another 9-star mission. In this world, no one can complete the 9-star mission twice in a row. In his life, he probably will stuck here. However, Ginu Nianzhu showed a look of shock. Sister Li Yan. What's the matter? Why do you show such an expression? Are you shocked that your little boyfriend was connected to the 9-star mission? No, shouldn't your focus be on the level? Ginu Nianzhu was a little bit crazy. After getting along for 2 days, the woman in front of her who is 2 years older than her has not deliberately concealed her true nature. How to say, just being stupid all the time. Level, yes, I'll go. How did he get to level 100 so quickly? You know, Lu Nan is an invisible person. After awakening to his profession, his reputation has declined sharply, and he has not been heard of any top union accepting him. No, maybe there is. No, I'm going to ask. Li Yan ran out in a hurry, like a ball of flame, in a hurry. This Sister Li Yan. Ginu Nianzhu supported her forehead, feeling a little suspicious for a while, whether she was wrong in choosing Phoenix 9 Heavens. On both sides of the remote and old street, there are full of grandpas and aunts who have had dinner, and they are all discussing the Jong family, which has been very popular recently. I heard that the child of the Jong family has awakened to a dual career, old cow. Then the second job is still a hidden job. I heard it's S rank. Really, isn't this more powerful than Ginu Nianzhu? Sure, otherwise, the Longtang Trade Union will be interested. Any news that reaches the idle grandparents will become more and more crazy. Hey, poor girl from the Lu family. What about the S-level potential evaluation? How did you awaken an ordinary job? Back then, she and Ginu Nianzhu were called Linshan twin stars. That girl is doing well now. I heard that in the past 2 days, people have seen a boss from Phoenix 9 Heavens taking her to level up. I have seen that boss, wearing a red magic robe, he looks awesome. Doesn't that level up every day? In 2 days' time, we'll be climbing the ladder, and we'll probably reach the 2nd rank. Look, this is the gap. I just said, in our place, the feng shui is not good, and we can't raise real dragons. An old man who didn't really believe in feng shui was holding a book of feng shui, and proudly said to the aunts beside him. Just as she was thinking about it, after a day or two, she began to touch the bones and massage, and suddenly, an aunt said, Old Wang, is the female big boss of the Phoenix 9 Heavens Union you are talking about, that girl? How is it possible that he is a top trade union boss? Why come to this remote place? You were wrong. I said, our feng shui is not good, but there is a way to change it. You can go to my place later. It seems to be true. Look at the side, is that the girl from the Ginu family? She looks so handsome. It's almost as good as that kid from the Lu family. An old aunt added. Lao Wang also didn't care about his poor mouth anymore. He turned his head and saw a ball of flames floating over, carrying a scent of fragrance. Master, may I ask, where is Lu Nan's home? Where is the road? Lu Nan. What Nan? Lu Nan. Road. With a flash of red light, the uncle flew directly onto the branch, where he yelled. I know, it's right there. Put me down. Li Yan snorted, and said, I'm not serious. You really think I'm blind? You guys, remember, whoever dares to let him down, I will personally settle the score with her. Finally, don't forget to warn others. The others nodded quickly. Anyway, after the game comes to reality, even if you fail to awaken your profession, your body will be digitized, and if you really fall, you won't die. On the contrary, Li Yan's vicious demeanor made a group of elders and aunts stand in awe, saying that they deserved to be a member of the Grand Guild, and they were domineering. No, just thinking about it, but saw her walking quickly to the door of Lu Nan's house, knocking on the door lightly, as if she was worried about disturbing the people in the house. Grandpas and aunts, is that the boss of Phoenix 9 Heavens? We read that right. Student Lu Nan. Lu Nan heard the cry, and got up to open the door like a cat scratching someone. Who are you? Let me introduce myself. My name is Li Yan, a member of the Phoenix Nine Heavens Trade Union. As she spoke, she pulled Ginu Nianzhu beside her to prove her words. Ooh, oh, you just oh. Li Yan had the urge to go crazy, but when she thought of the two red 9 stars, she said softly, Student Lu Nan, I wonder if you are interested in joining Phoenix Nine Heavens. Huh, Lu Nan was really surprised. You know, he is just an ordinary necromancer. Did she see my secret? Lu Nan's heart tightened, thinking whether to silence this woman. The inexplicable coldness made Li Yan tremble all over, and she felt more and more mysterious looking at Lu Nan. I am an ordinary necromancer, can I enter the 9th level guild? Lu Nan didn't believe that Li Yan could have such great energy. Seeing Li Yan's embarrassment, Lu Nan smiled and said, why don't you go back and discuss with your union members first? I don't mind joining Phoenix Nine Heavens. As he spoke, he yawned and said, it's getting late, let's go back and rest first. Hey, wait, Li Yan pressed the door, don't you want to complete the 9-star transfer task? It turned out to be leaked here. Lu Nan was stunned, but he didn't take it too seriously. He had to register for job transfer in the shrine, and there was nothing he could do about it. You just need to tell me your ability, and I'll be sure to bring you into the union. What, you know, I won't set such a precedent for others. We are a 9th level guild, what kind of geniuses don't have it? Let's not talk about S level, even SS and even SSS level occupations. Lu Nan nodded without rebuttal. My skills are 100 million points stronger. After hesitating, Lu Nan decided to reveal a little bit. Unexpectedly, Li Yan said angrily, don't be joking, I'm serious. I'm not joking. Li Yan felt that Lu Nan was dishonest, but she knew that there must be enough tolerance for talents, so she carefully induced her and said, you don't want to complete the 9-star mission. Let me tell you, the 9-star mission is not as simple as you think. The task you completed before should also be luck. I'm not talking about you. Even if the 9-star mission is an SSS level hidden job, it would be very difficult to complete without the help of the union. Is it that difficult? Could it be that my luck was actually very good, and I chose the easier mission among the 9-star missions? For example, if your mission is to collect materials, our guild warehouse has them. Your mission is to kill high-level bosses, and the guild can borrow top-level equipment for you, such as... Do you know the location of the diamond-level boss? Of course I know. I knew that there might be several locations for diamond-level bosses. In order to win Lu Nan, Li Yan also went all out and gave several locations to Lu Nan. Thanks. Lu Nan was also polite and accepted Li Yan's kindness. After Lu Nan closed the door, Li Yan immediately opened the data panel and sent a message to a friend named Purple Rose. Teacher, I have discovered a terrible thing, and I need you to decide. At the moment, the specific process was sent to the past. The next step is to wait for the news. Li Yan secretly said, then turned her eyes and said to Ginu Nianzhu, Xiaoshui, let's go to the Bohemia Mountains to practice leveling tomorrow. Ah, Bohemia Mountains, how do I remember? That is the advanced leveling area, at least you have to turn 4 or more to get there. What are you afraid of? I'm here, I'll keep you safe and sound. Besides, that kid Lu Nan will probably go there tomorrow. Let's stop by and see. Although I'm very optimistic about him, he's only a turn now, and he wants to kill 5 turning to a diamond level boss as a fantasy. Even SSS level hidden occupations must rely on top level equipment. At that time, we will watch from the sidelines, and when he is in danger, we will rescue him again, and we will not let him be grateful, and promise him to do whatever he wants. Sigh, young people, always don't know the sky is high and the earth is thick. Ginu Nianzhu held her forehead. Why does she feel that going there by herself to level up is the way to go? However, she, who is more gentle, did not refuse. After all, they came from the same school, so save them if you can. Early the next morning, Lu Nan went straight to the business district in the south of the city. Boss Cao's trading house was still closed, so Lu Nan could only choose to visit other trading houses and buy some skill books by the way. Soon, he sold all the equipment and materials on hand, obtained 200 million alliance coins, and directly used up the cash flow of a small trading house. Then, Lu Nan began to search for the skill books stored in these small trading houses one by one. Because of the rank 9 crisis, the price of goods rose, and the price of the skill book doubled at once. However, things that can be solved with money are not things. Not long after, Lu Nan walked to the last trading line. Hiss, boss, why did your Ivy skill book increase so much all of a sudden? And this lighting art skill book? It only sold 2,500 copies yesterday, but now it sells for 5,000. Are you using us as pigs? Yes, it's only been a day, how could it be possible to increase so much? At the entrance of the trading house, several young men and women were arguing with the boss. Would you like to buy it or not? This is the price now, the boss said confidently. Seeing the boss being so stubborn, the young men and women could only turn around and leave cursing. Lu Nan, what are you doing here? Buy something. These people are all his classmates, but since he awakened the profession of necromancer, these people have parted ways with him. Lu Nan, listen to my brother's advice, don't buy things in this trading house. It's deadly expensive. Exactly, when I saw the boss, I knew it wasn't a good thing. That's right, the skill book was only sold for 2,500 yesterday, but today it's sold for 5,000. What about killing sheep? Just as Lu Nan was about to walk away, he suddenly heard an unhappy voice, what are you talking about? If you can't afford it, don't buy it. As he spoke, he looked at Lu Nan and said, if you buy from me, I'll give you a 50% discount. Ah, is this true? Lu Nan didn't expect such an unexpected surprise. Of course, the boss glanced at a few people not far away, thinking that since Lu Nan is their classmate, he doesn't have much money, so it's totally worth spending a little money to vent his anger. The boss is really temperamental. How many undead skill books do you have here? I want them all. The boss's hands trembled violently. Fortunately, a lot of skills books of the undead system were sold yesterday, and there were not many in stock. Otherwise, I really thought about regretting it. Seeing Lu Nan put away 400 or 500 skill books, the boss felt like crying. Seeing Lu Nan walking away, he shouted at the stunned young men and women, what are you looking at? If you can sell so many things at once, I will give you a 50% discount. Bah, poor. Obviously, this group of people is not as rich as Lu Nan. Ding, you have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and your skills have been improved. Ding, you have learned the skill skeleton summoning, and your skills have been improved. Skill progress meets the conditions, successfully advanced. Current skill level 7001. You have learned the skill night funeral, and your skills have improved. You have learned the skill night funeral, and your skills have improved. Lu Nan looked at the data panel. Skeleton summoning level 7001 consume 1 point of mana to summon 7001 units of skeleton warriors gold with a cooling time of 1 second. It should be safe now. Lu Nan secretly thought. The first skill advancement is level 1000, the second time is level 3000, the third time is level 7000, and the next moment is estimated to be level 10,000. The amount of swallowing skills is getting bigger and bigger, and I don't know if there will be a surge in the future. Linshan City's undead skills have basically been used up by him, and if he wants to upgrade, he has to go to other cities. If you join the trade union, it should be much more convenient. This is a shortcut, but Lu Nan decided to wait to be on the safe side. There are 2 more days until the climbing ladder. Climbing the cloud ladder is a large-scale event, and it is already warming up, and preparations have begun in many places. Lu Nan has walked along the way, and many people are talking about the climbing the cloud ladder event. It's just that there are too many things happening in Linshan City these days, so climbing the ladder is not so lively. After the appearance of the 8-star boss, the 9th level crisis has eased a lot, and the speeches on the chat channel have also begun to return to normal. After all, if there is really a rank 9 legend who is ready to do something, it's too late for them to run now, so it's better to wait and see how the situation develops. Of course, Linshan City and the surrounding cities were still affected to varying degrees. For example, Linshan City and the Qingqing grassland leveling area outside had fewer people. The coordinates of the diamond bosses that Li Yan gave were all in the Bohemia Mountains area. Lu Nan planned to take the shuttle bus there, but when he arrived at the station in Linshan City, he was told that the shuttle bus had stopped running. It wasn't caused by the level 9 crisis. Originally, the fixed route of the shuttle bus was very safe, but now there is a wave of small animals and monsters running around. No one knows that it will cause danger to the safe route. At this time, little brother, I advise you, this don't go to the Bohemia Mountains for a while. Ah, is there no other way? Lu Nan felt helpless. The Bohemia Mountains are tens of kilometers away from here. If there is no shuttle bus, you can walk for a whole day on your own feet. This is because he is turning around now, and his speed is much faster. In the past, he would not be able to walk in a day. No way. Unless you have a flying pet, just fly there. Flying pets. It seems that there is a chance to get one. In a small place like Linshan City, there are no flying pets for sale. Lu Nan looked at the sky and walked directly towards the green grassland. When no one was there, a night funeral was performed. After walking for a while, Lu Nan found Hua Dian. He directly ordered a skeleton knight to come over, and then jumped on the back of the bone horse. A little cold, but very strong. Let's go. The bone horse under him stepped forward and galloped forward. The aura of the skeleton behind him also became agitated, let go of their speed, and followed. You killed the bucktooth rabbit, experience +1. You killed the two-tailed fox, experience +10. You killed the forest python, experience +1000. As time goes on, the leveling area that the skeleton knight team passes through becomes more and more advanced. For his own safety, and at the same time, in order to accumulate some experience by the way, Lu Nan cast spells while hurrying. A large number of skeleton knights appeared one after another, with him as the center, forming a huge army of skeleton knights. The Python Forest Leveling Area. A spotted giant python with the thickness of a bucket sensed an enemy intruding into its territory, angrily wriggled its body more than 10 meters long, and sent a piece of grass and a dozen skeleton knights flying away. Before landing, more than a dozen skeleton knights were already bleeding. Crash! The giant python was so powerful that it spewed a thick poisonous mist from its mouth. Poisoning buff suddenly appeared on the bloody skeleton knight. In just over 10 seconds, the skeleton knight fell to the ground. The giant python was very satisfied with his hunting speed, and was about to go back to sleep, when suddenly, a large number of skeleton knights appeared from the jungle. The bone sword in his hand was raised directly, and then thrown violently. Throw, swipe, hundreds of bone swords rained down. 1200, -1260. In an instant, the giant python's body was surrounded by a ball of white light. With 3 rotations, it couldn't even sustain a round of volleys. The light group on the ground, picked up by the skeleton knight, quickly cleaned the battlefield like a well-trained army. Your skeleton knight has been attacked by the king of pythons. Your skeleton knight has been attacked by the king of pythons. 2 seconds later, you killed the king of the python, gold. You got the blood of the python. You got the poison gland. You got the golden staff. This should be an elite monster. It can only be regarded as a small boss. After looking at a few pieces of the king of python in the space backpack, which emitted a faint white light, Lu Nan had nothing to do, so he checked it. Blood of the python, special. Grade. Gold. Use. One-time consumable. After swallowing, the constitution will be permanently +2. Note. This is the essence left by a mutated python. Venom gland, special. Grade. Silver. Use. After use, the skill comes with a poisonous effect. Golden staff weapon. Grade. Gold. Strength +10, mana +100. Skill. Snake control. All good things. Lu Nan swallowed the python's blood in one gulp, a warm feeling appeared in his body. Physique +2. The attribute is a little less, but it adds up. As for the poison gland, this thing is equivalent to bringing a bonus effect to the skill. Lu Nan suddenly thought. This poison gland is aimed at skills. Does that mean that as long as I use this thing, all the attacks of the undead army below will have their own poison gland effect? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.